You wanted us to come back for a 7th time? Maybe you didn't. Too bad. We're here. The LaserDisc Wolfpack THX CAV Special Limited Edition podcast has returned. I'm going to pass the mic over to my main man. Normally I have a long rambling intro explaining like how he connects to whatever topic it is, but we're talking BROTERION this week, and this guy is BROTERION. He essentially invented it. Ryan BROTERION Cushing.
Thank you very much. I am the BROTERION. This is my episode. No, it's our community's episode. I have to say, you know, the love for the amazing pan and scan shit that we watch is fantastic. I know I'll keep the swear words down, but I just have to say it. And I'm saying it mostly for Peter because he loves pan and scan too. So passing it off to you, Peter.
I think I joined the wrong Zoom chat. I thought this was going to be the how to make LD look like Blu-ray. Am I in the wrong spot here?
That's tomorrow night.
We might as well just go right to Maxeene.
Oh my god. That's too ridiculous. I can't. I'm Maxeene, the LaserDisc Queen. Never seen a Blu-ray Maxeene over here. So I am absolutely not trying to make mine look like a Blu-ray because I don't know what that looks like.
You'll never know if it worked or not.
I wouldn't know. I have a plasma. So I guess we'll keep it moving here.
Yeah, I'm Sam Hatch, your somewhat co-host. Normally we have another person or two, but we're running a little lean this week. Everyone's all out vacationing and golfing, and who knows
You'd think
what.
the virus was gone, but
Yeah.
maybe in certain red states.
We tried to get a special guest lined up, but it's going to be a surprise to us if the special guest shows up. And if it doesn't, then yeah, too bad. Just deal with it. Watch Pete's laser cat back there. So Ryan, we got a special announcement, a community statement. What's going on with this?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of hate toward
Laser cat.
what LaserDisc is and what it shouldn't be and what it needs to be, and it's like, and you know, I think Peter's been getting the brunt of it. And it's like the guy it's whatever you want it to be. I mean, I love chasing amazing trash. I mean, I'm not chasing, award winners by any means. My Criterion collection is minimal and has things like Ghostbusters in it. But
Exactly.
My BROTERION collection is maximized, and that's where I find the real value. And to me, yes, it's great to have some cool late releases, and they look amazing, but I love watching this crap. So, it may mean something else to you, to me, than to anybody, but gosh, it's a great format, and there's so many ways to enjoy it. So, the hate toward each other, I don't know. It's just getting out of control.
And I might have flipped off all of LDF in terms of posting a meme the other day because it was just getting a little too ridiculous.
And they might have deserved it.
Right. And normally I see a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily agree with on LDF all the time. And like Ryan said, there's no two people seem to be kind of coming at this format the same way. But I've been seeing all this weird purist kind of stuff lately. Like, this is how it is, this is what it's meant to be, and all this stuff. And meanwhile they're giving wait, where are you? You're down here for me, over there somewhere. Peter, they're giving him all this crap, and Bill and all these other guys for doing this stuff that's actually probably truer to the original spirit of LaserDisc than some of these other guys coming at it with, oh, it's meant for CRT or everything. But I mean, yeah, if you want to hook it up to 2V, knock yourself out. But don't get pissed. Like some people are like saying last week that, oh yeah, maybe you should just leave this group and allow us to have it to talk about LD how it should be and just get out of here with this stuff. It's like, so yeah. So I had to drop a come to Jesus kind of freak out thing, and it was pretty cool. It was a good chat.
And you switched everything to CRT and took off your glasses, and LaserDisc never looked better, right?
Well, and for the record, I even posted in that thread, like, dude, I watch LaserDisc on CRT all the freaking time. I might slag it on here, and like, but that's just a pushback from the kind of like CRT religion that's kind of going on. I watch it on CRT like on a fairly regular basis, at least multiple times a week. I got an old bedroom, hooked up to the CRT, hooked up to the LDS1, and then I have a projector, and then I got all this other stuff and this 4K thing behind me. So it's like I got my foot in all sorts of different regions. But so yeah, Peter deserved a white knight. I put my fedora on and had to represent.
You defended me. Let me just.
I did.
I won't get very long-winded here, but for some of the novices here, I want to show something. So this is a component cable. So this is when video is separated into brightness, luma, and two colors. So all of the video information is separated. So this is, if you watch a DVD or a Blu-ray, the color information is perfectly separated because it was never combined into one thing. So that's one of the big advantages that DVD has over LaserDisc is the color information, the video information is already separated. So when there's a comb filter test that you can do to test how good your player or your comb filter is separating things, if you watch it correctly on a LaserDisc or on a DVD player, it's done perfectly, 100% perfect. No LaserDisc player can ever do that 100% perfect. Now, when you have a LaserDisc, you're going to be using most of the time just a regular composite cable. So this has all of the video information coming through this one cable. So something has to separate the video information, whether it's your TV, a video processor, an external comb filter, something has to separate that. And that largely determines how good your picture is going to be. Because if you have a very weak comb filter that can't do a good job separating it, you're going to get things, colors overlapping, you're going to get noise that shouldn't be there, and it's going to look bad. And the biggest misconception that when they say LaserDisc the way it was meant to be is that guys in the 80s and 90s weren't trying to do this better. They were absolutely trying to do this better. If in 1980 or 1990, the home theater guys could have bought a comb filter from 2012, they would absolutely do it. The technology has gotten better over time. So things that weren't possible in 1988 are possible in 2020. And this doesn't have to cost a lot of money. If you see us talking about the eval board, this is the eval board. It takes composite in and it spits HDMI out. It's
like a retro tank, but awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a retro tank, except this actually works.
Yeah.
So this is essentially a comb filter. So when you hear people talking about the Lumagen 2144, this is the very similar comb filter to what's in there. It's an ADV 7842. It's one of the newest comb filters they made. I mean, at some point they didn't need to keep designing comb filters because nobody uses composite video. So when you use like a 4K TV, my theory is that by default they're just using the newest comb filter. Yep. So you're ending up with a really good picture just plugging directly into your 4K TV. So that's obviously the first thing you want to do. The next thing, this costs $216 online. So
out of control, man.
The other misconception is that this costs a lot of money. This doesn't cost a lot of. Anyone can have this. Anyone can use this. It's not an expensive item. So I just want to point that out. And like I said, in 1989 or 1990, when these guys were, LaserDisc was the home theater fanatics' choice. I mean, I wouldn't say every LaserDisc fan had a banging home theater, but certainly everybody that had a banging home theater had a LaserDisc player because that's what it was. If they could have bought this then, they absolutely would. There were all kinds of line doublers and Faruja external comb filters, all kinds of things people would buy back then to improve the look of LaserDisc. That was the goal of, I mean, what's the point of having a home theater if you're not trying to, within your means, make it look as good as possible or sound as good as possible, if that's your thing. That's, I mean, just the thought of dumbing it down, or it's supposed to look like crap. That's insane. I don't know why anyone would do that. And obviously, if you're limited, but even if you're limited budget wise, it's $216. It's not a reach for most people to afford something like this. So.
And people get so mad at you for spending money on this stuff, and it's if they could see how much these processors cost back in the '90s, they would crap their pants.
You buy this Ferrugia or something, they were $20,000 or $30,000 in 1988 dollars.
Yeah,
and people were paying that on a quest to make their home theaters look better. Everyone
is the DNA.
Everyone is spoiled now because you can go out. If you're a smart shopper, you could buy a projector on eBay for $300. You could buy a $100 Blu-ray or 4K player, get some movies, and you could have a damn good looking home theater right now. It wasn't like that back then. These guys were buying $30,000, $40,000 projectors, $20,000 video processors, chasing every bit of picture quality they could possibly get. So that's what I don't understand is people saying it's not meant to be that way. It was always meant to be that way. I mean, even VHS, what was the point of having, 4-head VCRs or whatever, hi-fi stereo VCR? It's because people wanted to get the most out of the videotape or whatever medium you're watching. You want to be able to get the most out of it. If you're streaming, do you sit there and stream an SD? Or do you stream in the best quality that your internet connection will let you? Of course, you stream in HD or 4K or whatever why would you possibly limit it to SD? You want to make it look as good as possible. It's just human nature. So
Max dropped some good propaganda from Pioneer too in those threads. So
yeah, I have my little. I'll grab that. Sorry.
Kind of pointing out that it was a selling point.
This is the LaserDisc quick reference guide. This is actually from a while back when I got the 1,000 discs from the guy who worked for Pioneer in the 80s. And this is from 1991. This is actually the image that's on my watch.
Nice.
But it's from when the M301 was brand new.
Yep.
And that's kind of one of the ones they're selling. And so CD was kind of obviously king at that point. And as far as music goes and everything like that, but there's questions in here as if you're a salesperson and someone asks you this, what is your, pioneered response? So the best ones that I was seeing here is with regard to the picture quality. Is the picture quality with LaserDisc really that much better than with videotape? LaserDisc player offers best picture. Stress that picture is 60% better than quality VHS player while providing digital sound.
Nice.
And explain independent group of video editors rated format as providing the best picture quality, such as resolution, detail, contrast, noise, and color. And then the next one is, will lasers replace videotape? And they never thought that it was meant to necessarily replace it. They figured you'd have them side by side. And so they say it's not necessarily intended to replace it, and it's purchased for superior audio and visual qualities.
But you're a jerk, Peter.
it was meant for the high-end home theater. That's what it always was. So I don't know. I just
straight and
the funny thing is, none of us care if you want to kick back and watch it on a CRT with a cheap player that you bought at Goodwill.
That's the thing. Knock yourself out, man. Have a
cares?
good time.
Yeah.
But to sit there and somehow say that by doing what we do, or some of us do, and we're putting pressure on other people to spend money and do this.
Yeah, you're irresponsible. I hear that lobbied at you a lot.
It's ridiculous. I mean, as far as my LaserDisc stuff, I don't have that much spent at all. I mean, I absolutely have a very expensive projector, a very expensive video processor, but that has nothing to do with LaserDisc. That has to do with 4K. I like watching 4K also. It just happens to work for LaserDisc as well.
My DVD-O, I use that for everything. I pump all sorts of stuff into it.
It's not like I went out and said, I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars so that I could watch, my Iron Maiden concerts. But they do work.
Maybe.
And there's that whole idea of purity too, like you mentioned before. There's I just plug it straight into the TV. I plug it straight into my 4K. It's like, well, congratulations. Instead of using a comb filter, a de-interlacer, and an upscaler, you used a comb filter, a de-interlacer, and an upscaler. It's just in a different package.
And then some people get so extreme, let's add scan lines to the video because that's what it looked like back in the day. And it's like,
let's make it look
film
retro,
never had scan lines. Scan lines were a technological limitation of the day because that was what the displays could do.
Yeah, but
it's
if
not
you,
an advantage.
and you can never win, because if you say I want it to like look more like film, they're like, well then by default you have to watch 4K. That's the only format that's acceptable as a sort of
Some of
film
the 4K they
replacement.
DNR'd it to death. Like,
I know, right? Yeah.
You
How
know,
faithful is that to the film? But
You know
whatever.
what?
you,
I
you
could
know,
pop
you
in a-
got to get labels that do this. Vinegar syndrome, where they keep the
official
film
sponsor.
looking like film. I had to get my plug-in. Sorry.
I can absolutely
Yeah.
pop in a 4K disc, and with the exception of my screen isn't near as big as the theater, it looks like it does in today's theater, but it doesn't look like it did in 1988 or 1983 when we were kids seeing Return of the Jedi. That's not what film looked like. LaserDisc looks way more like what film looked back then.
Yeah, that's definitely like, because when it was possible to go to theaters, the theater I was going to all the time is one that shows 35 millimeter film exclusively. So me, when I watch LaserDisc, it's the most similar that I see that looks like what I saw at that theater. And if I want to watch that same film again, then I'm going to for sure watch it on LaserDisc. It just looks and sounds the same. So
and a lot of that is just in the transfer. The limitation, you couldn't make this perfectly clean transfer back then, and you got the little things that would, the imperfections that were in the film or in the original source material, and it's got a little charm to it.
Cigarette burns and stuff,
it looks like film. So the whole trying to dumb it down and make it look like it did when you were a kid on a 36-inch TV is ridiculous, because back then the guys with theaters were trying to make it look like it wasn't on a 36-inch TV.
So true.
And I get a lot of stuff too about how you're lying about the results that you get when you tweak with stuff. And I can say, like, I mean, I don't have the same rig you have. I don't even have an eval board or anything, but a small variety of different devices and players. I've seen a stunning difference on my projector between some of my older players and some new players and new device combinations and stuff like that.
The other thing to think about is this comb filter is very dependent on what it's being fed by the player. The cleaner the signal that you're feeding, whether it be an external comb filter like that, whether it be your 4K TV, whatever, the cleaner the signal you could feed it, the better job the comb filter is going to be able to do. It needs a clean signal. So I could use this with a player that's real noisy, and it's not going to look near as good as one of my Sonys, which sends out about as perfect a signal as you can get, because it's just a much cleaner signal. And then everything down the chain, and again, like Sam said, there's always something downstream. You're never watching something straight off the LaserDisc player. Something is upscaling it, something is, and even if you're watching a CRTV, something is comb filtering it and separating that video. And the cleaner the signal you start with, the better your picture is going to be. So players, everything literally matters. And some of the stuff, and the other thing people don't talk about is calibration. That's the biggest thing you can do to improve your picture, and it's free. I mean, you could either get yourself a copy of Video Essentials for $20 or $30, or there's tools you could download online, AVS 709. There's all kinds of stuff you can get. And just if you get your brightness proper, a lot of these guys are going to look way, way better. And then the colors, they're simple enough to get. You don't have to get like an MF like I'm accused of, but just a basic calibration is going to make 90% of the people's picture. That and the aspect ratio. It's like how can you convince somebody if you just press a button on your remote, you're going to fix your picture? Oh, I don't want to do that.
That was the kind of the coolest thread in LDF of the entire week. There was a dude who rolled in watching The Abyss, and it was all stretched, and everyone was cool, and he was cool, and then he changed the aspect ratio. He's like, oh, that looks better. And he
acknowledged
it was strangely painless. Everybody had a good time. Yay.
That was like super positive this week too, compared to everything else.
It offset everything else for the week.
So if you do nothing else, if whatever you're using, if you don't want to spend another penny, do yourself a favor and spend a little time calibrating. And I don't mean calibrating by guessing at what looks good to you. I mean, get a test disc, download a free one, buy Video Essentials, and set it up properly. Spend a half hour, whatever.
There's a ton of copies of Video Essentials out there. Find one. I see that so many times. Everyone comparing. Here's what it looks like on Blu-ray. Here's the LaserDisc on the exact same settings, and it's all washed out, of course.
Yeah, and that's the other thing a video processor can do. It can keep different memories.
Yes.
The brightness setting for my LD players are way different than what it is for the 4K player. It's different, and it's whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
You just get sick of like you just want to leave and say, well, if this is what you want, just do it. Like, I'm just trying to help.
And
Like the
people,
one guy that's made 4 posts or 5 posts about how upset he is about the video quality. And I wasn't expecting this. And I wasn't
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, here, just buy one. It's $200. There's
If
no
you
other
don't like
option.
tinkering,
But I want to get a
Who
Lumagen
cares,
instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hobbyists like are gonna have different. Like some guys are gonna want to really mess with the gear and tech and tweak with things and stuff. And that's not your bag. That's not your bag. That's cool, but don't like freaking nail up some dude to the cross because he's messing around with all these processors and things.
So
I mean, if anything, just watch Peter for like 6 months and figure out which one you like the best based on what you have. And get that and let
Pioneer rules.
Peter run through all the different tests and options. Yeah.
well, that's the other thing. Like I've already done this, and it's
You have a whole channel of
speakers
documenting your progress.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. Everyone's mad at Peter for spending. It's always thousands of dollars. That's always the catchphrase. It's thousands of dollars, and it's like, yeah, that's like 2 years ago. Like he did that, and then said, "Hey, you know what? You can actually do something for a couple $100s and get a $10 player."
$216. I've got a $10 Sony Muse player sitting over there that, admittedly, I had to spend another $150 or something getting it working.
Yeah.
I don't have a $3,000 X0. I don't own one. I've had them and sold them because I don't think they're worth the money. I think the way I've done it, the cheaper way, is every bit as good or better.
Yeah.
I don't own an X9 anymore because I sold them. They're not worth the money to me.
Yep. Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I have one of
Ryan's
Peter's
got
X9. Yeah.
But I gave him a sweetheart deal, though. I sold it to you for what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
People get mad when you sell it cheap too. I saw it the last time. Someone's like, "Hey, that's too low."
Yeah, it was too low, and so you had to go to eBay and raise it.
You were screwing the market up.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like, some of these players, if you just do a little research, or if you've had them or run through them, you still have to calibrate on the different player. Just because it looked okay or great on one player, you can switch players and you got to start again sometimes.
That's why we're always joking. Like, I hooked up a new player. What I watch? Video Essentials again, because that's always a little different. So
I thought it was Star Trek 2. Is that the wrong calibration disc?
Shout out to Andy. Hopefully he's okay. We haven't seen him post some videos
in a while.
But we got to get him back on at some point. If he's
definitely.
Andy, make a video and hold up a sign if you need help.
Yeah, or just yell at us. And
we know people in the UK. We could send people over there.
Yeah,
we'll send Seth.
Yeah, Seth is in Sweden. He can make it, right?
That's the same area. It's like states over there, right?
Yeah. I think Seth's back at his mom's house, right? So is he hanging out in it? Yeah.
He's on the calibration journey throughout Sweden.
Nice.
He's turning off the noise or the motion smoothing.
Yeah, Vinny was staying at a buddy's house too, and he tweaked with the TV there.
Turn off motion smoothing, please.
That motion smoothing that everyone seems to like, that's way more blasphemy than anything we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's literally adding information that was never there.
Yep. And it's like on by default on most TVs.
Yeah.
On every separate input, which is crazy.
Which it can actually help if you use it minimally with sports, but you should never use it with film.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. So there you go. State of the Union address. We're not, and we got called out for being evil gatekeepers, and
and that's the other. Like, nobody's telling you have to do what I do. I enjoy what I do. I like it. I mean, I can't talk about what other people do. All I can do is talk about what I do, and I don't know. I'm not out there actively recruiting people, and inevitably people. I mean, that's the first question new guys usually ask is, "Wow, this really looks horrible. How do I fix this?"
Yeah, and then you answer, and people get mad at you.
Yeah, and then I answer, and it's like, "Well, you can't do that." Like, okay.
But yeah, I mean, and for the record, we just have a good time talking crap. Like one was like, "Oh, just that podcast is part of the problem. All the people on it." And I'm like, we're just having a good time.
Yeah, you know what? Get a sense of humor and join in with the fun.
Right? Yeah.
If anything, we're format champions, and we just love this stuff. I mean,
I literally I have my new LaserDisc earrings on.
See, perfect.
I have my LaserDisc watch. I literally absolutely 100% champion of the format. Want it to live on forever.
Respect.
What else can you want?
And I mean, sometimes we do enjoy the hate there because it just makes us laugh.
Yep.
So if you want to dish it, let's just laugh. It's fine. But
Anyway,
you know.
so everyone got the middle finger this week. So, but yeah,
thanks, Sam.
I love you, LDF.
And when you get Sam to put out the middle finger, you've gone
You know
way
it's
too
bad.
far. Yeah. Another couple weeks of this might turn him to drinking.
Right? I gotta pound some more water, man. So I guess we're gonna wrap up our community service statement and get into the genres. This is a big week for you, Ryan, huh?
Yeah, this is my bread and butter. I mean, there's a lot of other things I watch, but man, I just love these amazingly awesome and terrible action films with just, you know, fighting and explosions and, you know, roided out dudes. Like,
now, everything we just said goes out the window now because these are meant to look like shit.
Yeah, this is gonna be a bunch of trash.
Whoa.
I might have a nice pressing in here.
You know,
Yeah.
it depends on what studio is putting it out. If it's a major studio, last time I checked, the Rock Criterion looks amazing, and that's definitely a Broterion. I mean, it's got James Bond and Nick Cage.
There are Muse Broterion also. You proved that.
And if I remember, did you actually coin Broterion? I think I remember hearing it from you the first time. Or was it Altman? Or?
It was on this, like, I found this random movie called Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Yes.
And they released a Blu-ray and called it the Broterion edition. And I'm like, that's so perfect. So if you ever find that, which I think it's out of print now because, I mean, how many of you have heard of Dude Bro Party Massacre 3? Yes, exactly. It's amazing. It has Patton Oswalt and is just right on for the genre. But, I mean, they kind of coined it, and it was just kind of like dead. And I'm like, this is too perfect for all of these movies. So I ran with it.
Yeah.
Nice. And so for the kids watching at home, how would you describe a Broterion title?
All right. So it's got to have a couple of things. It's got to have some fighting and some explosions. It doesn't have to have both. But, I mean, I prefer it. Maybe some, like, hulked out dudes, very minimal dialogue, an okay plot. We don't need any Oscar winners here. We just need action. I mean, to my right, for example, is Driving Force, and it's got Flash Gordon and a bunch of semi-trucks and
Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke. Yep.
Nice.
So, to my left, I've got some fighting movies, and I've got some Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks with guns. I mean, you just got to have that, like, fighting element. It's the kind of movie you'll crack a beer to, sit next to your buddy, and just enjoy it, and you don't have to talk to each other.
So I guess I'll rock mine and get that out of the way because mine will be the most pedestrian Broterion thing. Like we mentioned before, everybody collects different things, and I don't really collect Broterion that much. But I might collect them on VHS or DVD or Blu-ray or something like that. But
blasphemy.
I know, but
but you are collecting the Corey Feldmans, right?
I might have some Corey Feldman in my collection, maybe. It's that pan and scan or that open mat thing. Yeah, that's just not my bag. Yeah, you kids with your open mat.
Listen, you're the open mat expert.
I might have a few in this pile anyway. So, all right. So, whatever I say, I always equally screw it up and go against whatever my my proclamations are. So that's just my thing. Number 5, we're gonna go with American Yakuza, which has Viggo Mortensen. There's a couple different pressings of this. This one, my buddy Robin Osborne sent me, and this one, if I remember correctly, is the one that wasn't on. There's one that's not on LDDB. You got one of these recently, right, Ryan? Like a Singapore, Taiwan, or
I got the one on LDDB, so I think yours is the one that isn't. Then?
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's got not much in the way of explosions, but it does have dudeliness because it's got a Yakuza brotherhood, and Viggo Mortensen is, the rare white guy that gets brought into the Yakuza. He ends up saving this Yakuza mob boss. I think it's that guy there, saving his life in an attempted hit, and then ends up, the guy realizes, well, you're probably the only guy I can actually trust because you're kind of outside of this world, and and then of course he falls in love with the wrong lady, and things get out of control from there. But yeah, cool flick. Of course, that's not Viggo Mortensen there, but of course his name's there. But yeah, whatever. Broterion. Next up is, what do we got? Fixing the Shadow, aka Beyond the Law, aka King of Harley. And this, my buddy Seamus Walsh hooked me up with. This is Press, maybe? Killer undercover biker movie. Again, there might be a little bit of explosions, but there's definitely lots of bro action because it's, trying, pretending to be a biker bro. And Killer's Madsen is the evil MC leader, and there's a side character named Dildo, which is the coolest thing ever. So yeah, he has to befriend Dildo and get inside the club. It's based on a true story of this guy, Dan. I can't remember his name. Dan Saxon is the name of the character here, and Sid is his biker name. And I forgot the name of the real guy, but he's actually in the movie in a little cameo. It is really, really cheesy and fun. So there you go.
Is that a Hong Kong press?
Yeah, I do believe it's HK.
Man, you're digging deep tonight.
Ah.
I knew I was going to be rolling with you, but we're going to get really pedestrian from here on out. Number 3, I had to go with Demolition Man, just because there's not much of like bro action, except maybe Stallone and Sandra Bullock are kind of like bros in it. But yeah, it's completely bonkers insane, and everyone is overacting in it, which is awesome. Dan Cortez from MTV Sports has a cameo, singing a song or two. And everybody knows what this movie is. So I'm not going to really chat too much about it, but it's one of my oldest favorite Broterians. I bought that from Suncoast when it first came out. And all right, we're gonna get a little higher end class here, Broterian. I'm gonna drop Heat in here just because it's about bros, man. These guys are 4 bros that like to rob banks together. And then there's also some, cop bros that are trying to shut these bros down. There's a lot of gunfire. There's a wee bit of exploding. So I figured it was enough to count. And, part of the story is like it's about how these guys have no connections, but one guy ends up getting the bros in trouble, and Robert De Niro just can't let that go. So it's Broterian. And number 1, there was a couple different options here, but I decided to go with my favorite, Big Trouble in Little China, because Dennis Dunn and Kurt Russell are bros to the end, man. They're brothers from another mother, and they just get into so many shenanigans. There's stuff exploding. There's green explosions. There's lots of gunfight. There's martial arts. And, I easily could have filled this list with, Hong Kong movies and stuff like that. But this is definitely inspired by Hong Kong flicks, and it's pretty much my favorite movie from the 80s, period. So that's my number 5. Or that's my number 1. Roll it on over to Ryan.
Awesome. So I want to apologize to Jean-Claude Van Damme, Cynthia Rothrock, and Jackie Chan. I did not get you in my top 5. And I feel bad. If there would have been top 10, it would have been there. But
it would have been too easy, though, right?
I had to cut it down, and it's got really hard for me. The rest of these genres, I'm like, I got 5, whatever. But no, this is work. So here we go. All right, so number 5, I'm a big fan of his work and his dedication to the genre, and he's involved with a total of about 12 films. They've all been put out by Mill Creek recently on Blu-ray. You know him. We love him. It's Andy Sidaris with guns, and of course it's got Eric Estrada as well, so
that's a plus.
A podcast favorite. It's great. You've got guns, obviously. You've got the other guns, and you've got the other guns. So I'll let you figure out all 3, but they're all in here. So Broterian to the max. And if you can't find one of these on LaserDisc, because they never come up, and I can't imagine they sold well, they're like $8 on Blu-ray. But Andy Sidaris understood the market. The Blu-rays, unfortunately, aren't pan and scan now. So sorry.
What? That's impossible.
I know.
The way it was meant to be seen, though.
Yes. Speaking of the way it was meant to be seen, one of the Broterian mainstays.
I had a feeling this was coming.
Chuck Norris, Missing in Action. They made 3 of these. This one is just the best by far. Number 2 is pretty good still. Yeah. But the whole premise on this one, it was made after the first one, but they released it first because they realized how much better this one was than the one that came out second. He's going back to rescue his missing in action buddies who they say don't exist, and it's just got these amazing America undertones. And Chuck Norris is the man. You can't take him down in the jungle.
The 80s, man. It's all about Vietnam coming back.
Oh, yeah. So rolling into number 3, you knew I wasn't going to leave him off. We've got the Dudikoff. Avenging Force. But this also has Steve James in it, and that guy was just massive. I mean, when you think about like guys in Canon films who just you did not want to see in a fight, it's got Michael Dudikoff, Steve James, and it's got fighting in a swamp. It's got explosions. It's beautiful. So I'd say it's a work of art.
Such a funky cover too.
Yeah,
it's like an import or something, but it's not, right?
Yeah, it's media, so it's really early. And it's Image Entertainment. So it's probably like 1985, 86, like right in that early run of Image Entertainment when they had like the 5-digit catalog numbers. And so it's kind of hard to find, but picture's not bad. Of course, it's pan and scan because it'd be blast for me to go.
Or open matte.
What? Huh? No, is that real? You mean open matte? Right?
Not really.
4x3? No.
Yeah, 4x3. I know. I'm a dick. I never say open matte in any of my videos. I'm like, it's in full frame or 4:3.
But I think you're on Wikipedia. Maybe no, maybe not.
I got booted. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think they shut me down.
We're gonna have to start a campaign to change.org or something.
It confused a lot of people though.
Rolling on to number 2. Back to some Canon films. We've got Stallone here, Over the Top. I mean, this is where it's at. You've got freaking arm wrestling.
Terry Funk.
Hulked out dudes. I mean,
I always think of Henry Rollins. He has a thing about that in one of his spoken words. He's like, "You gotta go over the top."
But yeah,
classic.
This one's pretty easy to find as well, because some of these are not. This one definitely is. You just gotta look. There's good Japanese copies. There's good U.S. copies. Just be patient.
Right.
And then number 1.
Hogan.
We had to be Hogan.
I thought we decided Hogan was his own genre.
He is his own genre, but this one's just so good. You've got Hogan.
A subgenre of the Broterion.
Oh yeah. You've got Tiny Lister. You've got I can't remember his name ever. Kurt Fuller as Tom Brell. Kurt Fuller is the Weasley like guy from Ghostbusters 2. He's always just kind of like a guy you just hate, but like he plays it so well. It's just it's over. It's over the top, but this is pure Broterion, and it's got Hulk Hogan. I mean, that guy.
Rip 'em.
Yeah.
I rented that and watched it with my bro back in the day. That was.
And you probably didn't have to talk to each other the whole time.
Oh, we kind of high-fived each other, and we're like, "Oh, dude, yeah."
Absolutely.
There was a little bit of vocalization.
Vocalization.
Vocalizations.
So yeah, that's my top 5. Peter.
All right. Like Sam, I had to struggle to find some Broterions here, and mine are mostly mainstream, and some of them I haven't even seen yet. So I'm going to be interesting.
Seen on LaserDisc or seen it all?
Seen it all.
All right.
I got the DTS copy of Street Fighter, Jean-Claude Van Damme, since you left him off your list.
It's got fighter right in the title, so.
I have seen this, but not recently, so I'm going to spin that at some point here soon.
And it's DTS.
And it's DTS.
That's premium.
I just got this one in my recent lot, and it's widescreen Van Damme, which seems to be kind of hard to find. So
classy Broterion.
Classy Broterion.
Had some shrink on there, huh?
Peter, I want to thank you for including Van Damme because I didn't get him in my 5. So.
And now this one sounds great to me, and this is on my to watch list.
Hellbound, yeah.
Chuck Norris. It says, "Mess with this Chicago cop, and there's hell to pay."
I like when he goes supernatural, like Silent Rage and that one.
I've never seen it, but it's got to be awesome.
I can tell you this: it's one of those ones where he's holding a gun on the cover.
Nice.
As opposed to.
Is that Evil Dead 3 or what's going on there?
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm intrigued.
It's a good one.
Another one that I have not seen that I got in my recent lot, but Slammer Girls.
Oh, sick.
The cover alone, I mean, she's got a gun.
Exactly. It's probably rotted to hell.
Is that a jail reference or some sort of...
Yeah, they're definitely in jail somehow.
Okay.
Prison women.
I'm sure there's a little TNA also.
What?
Now this last one that I made number 1 is actually one of my favorite movies of all time.
X-Men.
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Yes.
Did you get that from me?
No, I don't think so. This came in the lot I just got. I already have a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah.
It was just, I was kind of last minute invited and last minute organized for this podcast, so I just pulled a lot of stuff out of the lot I just got. But this is definitely, I've seen this movie 15 times. I love this movie. Mickey Rourke's awesome.
Back when his face was normal, right?
Yeah, exactly. So those are my Broterians. Maxeene, go ahead.
That was legit.
Yeah, that was good.
list.
I'm glad you put Van Damme in also, because I left out Van Damme because I figured Van Damme would be in a lot of people's, so I too did not rep Van Damme in this one.
Mega Van Damage.
Yes. I probably don't look like I like Broterion, but Gone in 60 Seconds has been one of my favorite movies since it came out with Nick Cage in it. I'm a huge Nick Cage fan. I like garbage films. And so I will start with my number 5. I really tried not to go with anything that was Mad Max adjacent, because that's really could be its own genre in itself, but this one's really good.
I always like the cover.
The cover is great, but it's just ridiculous. Like the whole concept of it is just like, turf war, Mad Max style, with lots of guns and explosions, and it's great.
Roger Corman.
Yes, Roger Corman. That one's a great one.
That cover's awesome.
I repped Cynthia Rothrock because I love her.
Yep.
And this one is killer. I was hoping to actually go with like this vibe of all of my choices being somewhat related to like Los Angeles area, and I got pretty close. This is set in Los Angeles, and nice. Cynthia's got some killer crimped hair in this one. She kicks ass, and obviously so does Chat McQueen, but I think she kicks more ass.
I just watched one of hers. It was the one with her sister or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. And she's like, her sister's a reporter or something, and they, I don't know, kick everyone's ass. But Cynthia Rothrock's awesome.
Did she do the awesome kick where she kicks backward and comes over like your head?
Yes.
She always does that.
That right there alone, you're just
Legend.
like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's legendary. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, this one, this was like, this
what
was
have we
great.
here?
The Taking of Beverly Hills.
With Ken Wall.
Now, this is literally an insane plot, okay? This is completely centered around all these like ex-cops and crazy people basically get this great idea that they're going to, while all the rich of Beverly Hills are doing some homeless gala thing, they're going to cause a big scene, roll a fake truck full of hazardous waste, and then shut down and evacuate all of Beverly Hills, come in as hazmat people, and then pretend to be hazmat people and steal everything. And it all goes wrong when they think that this guy, because his nickname is Boomer, they think he's a dog. And so they leave him in the house, and then he's like taking a bubble bath and comes out and he's like, what's happening? And then suddenly they just bring in a guy who's a hitman for some reason, kill Boomer, and he straight up comes in a SWAT tank. And it's like, this is premium right here. Okay. Wow. And this is like crossover of just ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous about it. And they just, I mean, find this, watch this. This should have more love. It's bizarre.
Even widescreen too.
And widescreen.
This is
Look at that.
Here. This is a high-end one right here.
Fancy Broterian.
Okay, now these
like
next
it.
two. This I was like, this has Corey Feldman. This has Chad McQueen.
Chad McQueen again.
This is really, really good. This is actually Chad McQueen driving a replica of the Bullet Mustang in the end chase scene.
Nice.
It's like, it also kind of reminds me of like 90210, Dylan and Brenda kind of vibe, Chad McQueen and his girl. And I just like the overall storyline of it. I just was really into it. It was a lot of cars, and I really liked the car vibe. And then it was just randomly Corey Feldman, and it's Michael Madsen.
From Fixing the Shadow fame. Excellent.
It's just wild. This one was very wild.
Michael Madsen he is Broterian. Like,
he really,
I mean,
he's great.
He doesn't even need to do kicks or, fire rocket launchers. He just kind of stares at you and, I don't know, scares you.
Now, this one's shout out to Trevor, because this was on my list.
Nice.
He would say he would
the
be on
Boz.
But this man, oh my God. This is great.
Looks like a sweet mullet there.
This is one of the best mullets I think I've seen. Like Van Damme has good mullets. There are some good mullets out there, but his mullet is literally like full on my hair blonde, like super long, like braided rat tail sort of, and then he's got like the brown going on the sides, and he's just like shirtless most of it, and if he isn't, he's wearing like a leather vest only. Like
nice. When you go into the classy establishment, that's when you put the leather vest on.
They walk into this this really fancy restaurant. Oh, it's also like bikers with like mob boss guys. So the biker dudes walk into this fancy restaurant where the mob boss guys are, and they're carrying this like perfectly wrapped in black wrapping paper with like, you know, manly looking wrapping paper, and they're carrying this big box. They put it on the table and they're like, oh, a present. And like, they're so unimpressed by the insanely good wrapping job that was done clearly. And he's like, pulls out this thing and it's a helmet, and they're like, ugh, I don't need a helmet. I don't even ride. And then it's like, he like taps on the visor and to like flip it up. And then it's just like a dude's head in
Dude's
there.
head.
Like, of course, like, of course. And they're like, more gifts. Like,
Nice.
it's just like, this just had so many, I mean, there are so many one-liners in this. He is just like perfect specimen of guy just with a gun, just undercover cop vibes. A lot of these ended up with undercover cop vibes.
Yeah, I had an undercover cop.
This was just, this was so good. And I literally watched all of these again. So they're not going in my spins, but I watched all of those to make sure that I was picking the best possible ones. I did a BROTERION marathon.
Excellent choices. Man, and we got to pour one out for our homies. Trevor and Chris weren't able to join us this week. They're out having a good time, but this is, you know, their bread and butter too. I'm sure they would have brought some awesome selections to the table, but yeah, excellent choices, everybody.
Absolutely.
And yeah, pardon if hopefully this doesn't get through on my headset. My neighbors are actually hosting a karaoke concert in their front yard with pretty much like a concert level PA.
Wow.
I just heard someone jamming All I Need Is You or whatever, All I Want Is You by Mariah Carey. Really, really horrible. And yeah, so hopefully they get exploded and then Brian Bosworth comes and takes their heads and delivers it to a mob boss.
Oh my gosh, seriously. He jumped on, he literally dove onto a vehicle like while it was driving. He's nuts. He would jump into a karaoke party.
So I guess we're going to rock some recent pickups.
Absolutely.
Some new things. We're moving fast this week because there's only 4 of us. I did get some pickups, and I'm gonna have some more coming. I know Peter's sending me 2 things, so that'll be nice.
Yeah,
Thanks,
but
Peter.
I didn't promise you before the end of the year.
Yeah, but you got to get them by next week now, or no, 2 weeks from now.
I went to the Omar School of Shipping.
There you go again. You're toxic, and you know, bringing that horrible attitude to the LDF.
I speak the truth.
So yeah, anyways, we're going to drop some things I got from Jason Floyd, including BROTERION, Tango and Cash, baby.
Nice.
I never bought this on Laserdisc for the longest time because I didn't realize it was widescreen. It's a Warner Brothers stealth widescreen. So had to get it. I know, you have to hate it because they totally stole from Jackie Chan's Police Story in the beginning. You know, Sly says it was an homage, but whatever. Jackie was okay with it, so I'm okay with it.
How did Sylvester Stallone go from like a really, really good actor in Rocky 1 and 2 to like a horrible actor? Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know. And then I kind of wrote him off, but then he started being cool again in the 90s. So I don't know what happened. Not that he wasn't
cool, but like he was epic with Rocky and Rambo, not only acting but writing them. And then like he just ran out of it. He had a couple of good ideas.
Way better than him.
Yeah.
The roids started frying his brain a little.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, right. So this came out in '90 on LD. So I grabbed that Rhinestone.
Maybe he got into like some tax issues like Nick Cage now and just took a lot of roles.
I'll do it. And another stealth widescreen.
He's 74, and I think he still has kids to put through college, so he better keep working.
Yeah, maybe. This one I didn't know was a thing. I mean, I knew the movie was a thing, but I didn't know there was a widescreen of Some Kind of Wonderful, which is pretty much very similar to Pretty in Pink, but I actually like this one more. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, it's got a lot of my favorite.
This is one of those times when I have to take to eBay.
Yeah, man. I was surprised this was in there. I was like, oh, sweet, that's a widescreen. It's John Hughes writing and producing, but Howard Deutsch directing. But it's still got that John Hughes vibe. And yeah, everyone, of course, Craig Schaefer's also in there. And yeah, it's a cool cast. I was psyched about that one.
Purchased.
And Peter got it. Shout outs to Bill, who was just watching Lawrence of Arabia. I got some more David Lean action. This is an upgrade. The AC3 later issue of Dr. Zhivago. I had the early 90s one. But yeah, this is a sweet gatefold. And
Awesome.
bam. Pretty good stuff. And this, what year is this? AC3.
Did you beat me to that, Ryan?
Yeah, I can't see what year this is. Oh, did you just lose out on it?
I did.
Oh man, 97.
Ryan was quicker.
That's been on my wish list for a while because like I've had the pan and skin and I've known about it, and as soon as you said about it,
you just stealth bought it.
I totally just stealthed it because I'm like,
bastard.
What a dick.
I have a pan and skin
I didn't even go for the best offer. I was just gonna buy whatever they were asking.
Peter announced it probably right when Brian
I was
like,
also already clicking like I'm like, well, it might be one of the ones.
Just let me say, welcome to the world of Chicago collecting. That's it in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, if you sleep on it, it's gone. You've missed it.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of really good collectors in Chicago.
No, I mean you get it. I don't.
No. You got that awesome lot just recently as well. I was on the road.
You were out of town though.
5 hours.
I posted it, but it was closer to you.
They want $45 on LDDB. You just paid $20.
Ouch.
Oops.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say what I paid.
It took me a long time to get that one.
Oh,
I
it's
have
flying terrapin too.
I don't know if I bought anything from that person.
If you make flying terrapin an offer, his price goes up.
He's like, wait, somebody wants it?
Yeah, somebody wants it $60 now.
Oh no!
Shout outs to Jason who hooked me up hard with that one. So,
Yeah.
also got this. Nothing normally too exciting, but Groundhog Day. I never owned it, and it's a rotter, except when you get a DADC Austria pressing. Bam! So no rot. Nice to have that. And what else? I'll skip through. I actually left the house and went to a record store for the first time in ages. It was it was like 6 of us in there or something. It was pretty wild. And there was a LaserDisc, so I grabbed it for $3. Spartacus. It's not the Criterion, but it's a nice
Kurt
90s.
Russell, or what's his name? Who's the?
Oh, it's Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nice letterbox copy from mid 90s, something like that. 91. That's
I think
close
it might
to
have been
mid.
the same transfer as the Criterion, just not the Criterion release.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
Lawrence of Arabia has pretty much like the other there's a Columbia version that came out that's the same exact transfer as the Criterion.
Just doesn't have
And
the special features.
shout outs to my boy Vinny for hooking me up with this. He went and bought, he was talking about that lot with that Panasonic player, and he got a bunch of discs from one guy. And I needed an upgrade of Street Fighter 2, the animated movie,
Nice.
which is anime stuff, but it is dubbed in English, and it's got a hot 90s soundtrack with Alice in Chains, Silverchair, and KMFDM, and unrated for mature audiences only. The copy I had another disc stuck to it, and the whole front tore off. So I wanted to get a nicer jacket. So Vinny hooked up. He wasn't going to keep this one, so it's not a Vinny title.
No.
I'm surprised you touched it.
Yeah.
I know, right? He just held like tongs. Shout out to Allman, I think, who posted this, and I grabbed it immediately. Cemetery Man,
Yes.
also known as Delamorte, Delamore, or Delamore, Delamorte, or whatever. Great film. Freaking Rupert Everett in here.
Twin Peaks.
No, it's Rupert Everett.
Oh,
and
looks like him.
Anna Falchi's in here. Amazing. And it's just such a great, kind of acid trip. It's like, it's a zombie movie. It's a giallo. It's like everything. And it's got like a crazy kind of surreal ending. And yeah, love it. Sadly, it starts off, I think, letterboxed and then goes pan and scan after the opening credits. But yeah, whatever. This I got with, I sweet, I don't know if you can see, a little THX hype sticker and the original tag.
So what is the, read that if you can, because I was about to make a point when I go to mine.
LaserDisc, mastered and duplicated for optimal video and audio performance.
So why bother if picture quality doesn't matter back in the day?
Yeah, it's supposed to look trashy. Yeah, that's why they stopped, because they're like, yeah, this is no good. This originally cost $59.98, and I had to keep the train rolling and get The Rock in DTS.
Yes.
So, yeah, boy, we're gonna keep this Rock thing going for another couple weeks or so. Same transfer, pretty much as the one I watched like last week or the week before, but nice Kure pressing, I believe, and so now I just need to get the Criterion, and then I'm good to go on my Rockage. So
for NTSC.
Yeah. And then finally, yeah, Kure always had those super NTSC. I did get something else that I might have gotten it last week or the last one, but I didn't have it to show anybody. But actually, not. Maybe it wasn't. Got a little Muse decoder.
Are you going Mahir style and breaking out the Muse decoder?
I'm going Mahir style 2 episodes in a row. Yeah, this is the Sony MSC 3000
with the wood sides.
Yeah, wood sides, baby, and you can see the plugs and all that excitement back there. RGB HV. It's got component, like those 3 cables Peter was showing off earlier. You can use those. And yeah, I tried the 5-channel outputs, and those were all working for the audio. Yeah, this is one of those things I didn't know if I'd have to fire it up and beg Bill to fix the capacitors or something. But yeah, it actually worked fine, and I hooked it up. And the one thing I totally spaced on, I borrowed Peter's big brother to this, the MSC 4000, and I hooked it up with my 5 RGB HV cables because my DVDO has that as an input. But I totally spaced and realized my DVDO doesn't accept weird resolutions, and this is 1035i, so it pumps out a strange ass resolution, and my DVDO is like, F you, buddy. But you can change it to component in the menu, and Peter's was probably set to component, and I thought I was watching it with RGB HV, and I wasn't. But the other thing is, all component isn't the same. Some component has the sync that sets up the horizontal and vertical and all that stuff. All that sync stuff is on the green channel, and then some component has it on each individual channel. And this one is on each individual channel. So if you hook this up to the component for your DVD player, it's going to look all blown out, and the contrast is going to be all screwed, and you're going to be like, oh, Muse looks like ass. But if you change it to the 3 sync, all of a sudden it's amazing. You just change it, and you can see a sky go from having clouds and everything to be completely blown out. So make sure you have triple sync if you're going to hook up the component. So yeah,
there is a solution to getting RGB HV.
Bill was just telling me about that Extron, so I'm gonna totally get one.
This is one of a couple that maybe you should cut it out before everyone.
I know, right? Don't spill it, Peter. I need to buy one. So
hey, there's a Sony remote if you want to be a completionist on the usual places right now.
I would love to get one. So yeah, thanks to this, there's this evil gatekeeper that I know on LaserDisc Forever that
twist your arm.
He laughed at me, and he kicked sand in my face, and then yeah, he sent a Muse decoder to my house. So what a dick.
Earn him.
Yeah. Speaking of evil gatekeeper, hey, there's that guy. What's going on, Peter? What do you got?
Okay. So as Ryan stated, I had to drive through 4 states to get a lot that he wasn't already after. But it's actually all sitting on my floor here in bin still. So Ryan coming onto the scene really did help me because I don't have room to put all the stuff that he's got anyway. But it's been a long time since I got a lot. And the guy posted it, and I thought, that's not really that far. It's about a 5-hour drive. He seemed to have a lot of, not super late, but semi-late releases. So I got about 200 discs and a cheesy DVL player. Sorry, everyone with the DVLs. So I just picked out 15 or so of the best ones, I think. Got this Jaws box set.
Nice.
This is the
big one.
Oh,
the
yes.
big one. I didn't realize there was 2. I have the little one, and I guess the only difference is
the hardcover or the paperback.
Yeah, It's got the book and it's got the CD. This CD is actually sealed, so it's really, really cool. And again, I was thinking about this. Why would they put this on 5 sides CAV if it weren't for picture quality? So that's, I mean, it was all about picture quality. That's what all these releases were about back then. So there's that.
Great special feature too. That documentary is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't watched that documentary, but I probably should. High School High.
Nice.
Damn.
It's kind of a cool. There's just a string of 97, 98 releases that he's got, or he had in a lot. And this particular gentleman was getting out of LaserDisc completely, and he had a good selection of other things also, like wrestling's bloopers.
Nice.
Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, man.
The Mighty Kamala. Awesome disc.
Those discs are hard to come by too. Like there's 4 of them, and you just never see them.
Yeah.
This I watched Gone with the Wind and Civil War box set. It's
Cool.
very cool to get some truth.
I got a sealed copy of that not too long ago.
I told
Pretty
Vinny
good.
I'd actually watch this and educate myself. We've got go to eBay. History of the World Part 1 widescreen.
I just got that one a couple shows ago.
Apparently that's desirable. I mean, now this is completely unacceptable in today's world, right? I haven't seen this since I was a kid, but
Yeah, anything Mel Brooks is pretty much off the.
It's probably not as bad as Blazing Saddles, but it's still got to be completely politically incorrect.
Like Hitler
so I'll probably
on
go over to
ice
LaserDisc Collectors Club and complain about everyone.
Snap! That was a deep cut.
Last Man Standing DTS. I've been working on trying to collect all of the DTS films.
That one sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm trying to go complete and go all crazy, because in some of the films I've got Japanese copies of and I don't have U.S. copies of. I'm just trying to get every movie available. I'm not going to go for the stupid Tina Turner disc. I've got the Eagles DTS, but I've got, I don't know, 10 or 15 more to go probably, and I'm there, but they're the 10 or 15 harder ones.
That's a room destroyer right there.
I have
This one,
quite a few DTS. We need more.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to check with you before I go. But
I know, we've really got to start getting our act together.
Widescreen,
Wait,
some kind of
Maxeene sells
wonderful.
LaserDiscs?
I know, right?
Oh,
Maxeene, widescreen, some kind of wonderful. No.
I
All right.
don't.
So,
I personally have it. I don't.
This
have
one, unfortunately, did not come from my Ohio lot. This can't travel a little further, but this is White Snake.
ooh, nice.
Super Rock '84 in Japan. So there's.
I don't see that one often.
Yeah, there's the Michael Schenker group. Same. They have the one disc. I'll show it later. Actually, that combines a little bit of everyone's performance from this show. Then they have the individual ones. The guy that's trying to sell that Michael Schenker one is just asking way too much money. But this White Snake one wasn't bad, so that's cool. It's amazing how young David Coverdale looks in this. It's like a different person. Like, was he 50 or something by the time he actually hit it big?
Yeah, because he'd been doing stuff for ages before, like those Tawny Katane videos dropped.
Yeah, and they do.
That would be like a re-release of the same song. There's a version.
Yeah, they do Slow and Easy on here, but it's like it's not the Slow and Easy I remember as a kid.
It's like
yeah. 70s Slow and Easy.
Yeah.
So back to the Ohio lot. Maxeene will probably like this one. Home Fries.
Cool.
Another of the endless string of semi-late releases that this gentleman managed to collect. I've got the one that I might trade Ryan for some kind of wonderful if he wants. October Sky.
Done.
That's going to be the next power move, is just trying to hit eBay first to get the thing that Peter wants so you can
there you go.
barter. Ryan's like, fuck that movie.
Another semi-late release, Practical Magic.
There's the
Nice.
poster. Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh yeah, that's such a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, I need these. I was already backed up with things to watch, and now I'm even more. And I average probably 3 or 4 movies a week, and I'll never catch up. I don't think.
Commentary on there too. You got to listen to it.
Here's another one I could trade Ryan for and hold him hostage. Gone Fishing.
It's one of those things, like it's like these later releases, they look great, like, even if they're not necessarily the greatest movie, by the time they hit 97, 98, they had it down.
Yeah, like there's that period that everybody pays attention to when THX was like a big thing, but they were also starting to add DNR and things to the video, and it was like, yeah, like you were saying, that little bit later period when it's like the picture quality was just ass kicking.
So the other thing this guy liked to collect, thanks to Ryan's influence, was Hogan's, and he literally told me he was a big Ryan Cushing fan. So I don't have much Hogan. I've got a Thunder in Paradise or something I got from Ryan, but I didn't have any actual Hogan movies. So Suburban Commando.
Nice.
And also
Wow.
Mr. Nanny.
Proper.
Those are impossible to find now too. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. And also the best of
Wow.
Folkamania.
Yes.
Nice.
That one's really hard to find.
This is such
Yeah, those are minty.
my childhood. I being in the Chicago area, a lot of people don't realize Hulk Hogan, before he made it big in the WWF, like in a nationwide basis, was a local Chicago wrestler. He wrestled for a company called the AWA. So you go like 1982, 1983, you've got an 8-9-year-old Peter just loving this guy, and then he went big. And I mean, when he won the WWF title, I mean, I could remember these moments as a kid, 1984, and this has that match on there, and it's got some other ones. It's got a goofy segment of him showing his vitamins, his special vitamins. They're not in syringes, so I don't think he's actually showing the vitamins he took.
Is it any of him training Mean Gene on there? I always love those.
No,
That's on the WrestleMania Coliseum disc. Oh, it's fantastic.
When he tries to get him all pumped up. And
well, he had the tag match with Mean Gene.
yeah, and he was making him drink the shakes and everything. And
we've got a disc Sam likes, Warlock Live.
Dude,
VHS Plus.
Doro.
Yeah, it
Love
was
Doro.
playing so nice, and then the audio gets screwed up like near the end.
I
Did
saw
you
them
try it
looking
on
for
analog?
Megadeth.
Yeah, it didn't help.
That's too bad.
I love
Awesome
Sick.
disc. And that's it for my new arrivals. Maxine, go ahead.
So I think we skipped Ryan, didn't we?
Oh,
You
I'm
totally
sorry.
did. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
No,
That's
it's Sam's fault. I mean,
I was talking about Peter, so then I was just like, I'm going to Peter.
so I went on this road trip, as you might know, and
But
the
much
last
further than Ohio.
Welcome to the East Coast, buddy.
I went Illinois to Massachusetts and back in 8 days, and each time I went, I drove straight through each day.
Was
But
the purpose LaserDiscs, or was there another purpose?
No, it was a family trip.
Oh, okay.
I've got family out there, so but I know I had some hot spots I found the first time out, so I'm like, okay, well I killed it the first time. I picked up Demons Roan for $12 and just stupid great pickups. So I'm like, I'll do it again and I'll hit some of the same spots and hit a couple different ones, and it just was slow. Like I just kept grinding and wasn't finding much. I found some cool, like weird offbeat, like Christmas movies and things that you never see that, you know, they're $2-3 discs, but I didn't really hit any gold till I hit Massachusetts and finally pulled in some stuff. But this is not one of my pickups, but it's one of my pickups. I don't want to count this towards it, but
I saw that.
I found this and I was like, I have to get this because Sam would appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
Earthquake himself.
Thank you, Ohio, for that.
Nice.
Japan
That
also
counts as
delivered.
Broterion.
Oh yeah. Wait. I mean that stash maybe, right? Is that
Exactly.
enough? Is that enough? Yeah.
I don't know.
You went to Japanistan?
No, Japan came to me.
Oh, okay.
But it's a U.S. release via Japan, so it's in better condition than it would have been from eBay. But
Right.
nice Wendy O. Williams on there.
Nice.
So,
Connecticut. She used to live here
Wow.
in her later years.
And then this one's from the eBay, and I'd been looking for it for a while. I had the first one. They both are kind of late 98, maybe 99, but I was getting some of my Chan in. So this is number 2. This is the harder one to find. Number
Which is
1's
actually the first film, even though it came out second here in the States.
Yeah, listen, we've obviously figured out a better way to handle Jackie Chan movies than
Yeah.
Jackie Chan. So
It's the one
don't
where he
knock it.
broke his skull, poked a hole in it.
Yeah,
Ouch.
and just
Sick.
kept on going.
Yeah, it's on the end credits.
This is my one non-Broterion I'm going to showcase, and I can thank Maxeene for this. It is Bigfoot
Nice.
and The Unforgettable Encounter.
How is
That's,
that not Broterion?
Because it's a kid in like an animal kind of ish.
Jonathan
That's
Taylor's
Zachary
mom.
Ty. No, it's Zachary Ty Bryan
Wow.
from Home
that's
Improvement.
That's
Even
Broterion.
better.
And it's a Singapore only release from PM Entertainment. So I
That's Broterion.
I don't
The
know.
only thing that would make that better would be if there was a panda involved.
Yeah, maybe it's Broterion Junior.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Junior.
Broterion Junior series.
That's like the full moonbeam.
When you sign up for the Broterion Club, that's one of the first 5 you can get free.
Well, what happens is you can add on the $5 package to get one for your kid.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So I got that from the UK, and it's Singapore only, and I've never seen it, and it took forever, but it got here. I'm just thrilled because it's got to be absolute garbage and amazing at the same time.
I'm so excited for you.
Moving into the full-on Broterion, we've got some Joe Estevez.
The best Estevez.
Blood on the badge.
Wow.
There's a third Estevez?
Yeah.
He's the good one, obviously. In the name of vengeance, justice will be done. It's got a revolver on the cover and a dude, obviously trying to get lucky here. And a badge. I mean.
Yes.
Is that seriously Charlie Sheen's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's the good
Mind blown.
Yeah. There's always another brother that you don't know about.
Yeah. That one came from Greg. So did this one. Project Eliminator.
Wow.
I'd been looking for this one forever. I kept missing out on it. People would post it and I'd miss it, or, I'd say, hey, I want that, and then they'd come back and be like, oh, that one's $50. And I'm like, it's Frank Zagarino. If you can tell me anything else he was in, you're lying, or you looked it up. But I'm looking forward to it. Keeping in that same vein, Greg's Broterians Are Us web shop on Facebook had opened up, got Street Hunter. So it's a dangerous world. He's a dangerous man, and he's the law. I mean, that just can't be bad. So that goes in the street category, the hunt category, the gun uncover category. I did get some horror, Dolly Dearest.
All right.
It's one I didn't have for whatever the reason. I thought I had it and found out I didn't, so it worked out well.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get that like 3 years ago.
Right? Pumping Iron.
For babies.
Yeah.
This is I think I got this one in like Pennsylvania.
Some great quotes in that one.
Yeah, that's literally, I've seriously watched that, I kid you not, maybe 15, 20 times.
Damn.
I can tell it's starting to work,
Yeah.
You got your personal, financial strategy together. You got the pumping iron.
They smoke weed because they're not medical professionals.
Not like our buddy.
Yeah.
We've got Dragons Forever here.
Nice. Is that Tyson?
It's another Jackie Chan. I
it's
haven't
like one
seen
of those ones they like dropped for America. But
it's tight. So it's subtitled, but it's like a 98.99 release, and I've been looking for it for a while. It's letterboxed, everything, and I'd been trying to get some of these Chan films that I didn't have because they're not getting easier to find. This one was from Massachusetts, Fatal Instinct. I have no idea, but following your instincts can be murder.
It's like Fatal Attraction and Basic Instinct had a baby, but with less famous people.
Is that widescreen?
Is that Madsen?
It's not widescreen, Peter. What are you talking about? I don't buy widescreen films purposely. I go out of my way.
I would zoom in on it, make it widescreen.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it's open mat, you can zoom on it, and it's an perfect. Perfect.
Exactly.
Accurate representation of the theatrical.
Got some
LDF misnomers for 100.
Yeah,
Michael Bain, A Taste for Killing.
Wow.
This was also Massachusetts. I got to Massachusetts and it really opened up. I have a couple of honey holes, and I've told Bill, and that's about it because I like to go back to him.
Yeah.
But
if you like that, you should probably get The Rock starring him as well.
This also has Jason Bateman in it, of all things. So
damn,
very, very interesting. I look forward to that. It might actually be legitimately good, but I'm hoping not. Keeping in that vein, Breach of Trust.
Damn.
I mean, if it's got a guy pointing a gun on the cover, you're not going to go wrong. I'm
You
almost
found
done
this
here.
shit actually in the wild?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got this from Matt in Boston. I had been talking to him.
Shout out to Matt.
Bounty. Yeah, shout out to Matt. So I had mentioned, I was like, hey, I'm going to be heading to Boston. You got any, of any places? He's like, I got a Craigslist posting. Take a look and see if there's anything you want. So we like met up, and he's like, oh yeah, there's always parking. There's no parking, and there's a person like staring at me. So I gave my brother-in-law cash to give to him and circled, and then like got a chance to talk to him on the circle around. But like the whole world's in like coronavirus panic still, so we're all in masks, and it's just it's so weird.
It's
but
weird.
I did get to see him, so that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all about like showing people where the honey holes are and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody cares half the time. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Right. So I got X-Cop as well.
Wow.
Just, thanks to Matt again. And back to one of my other honey holes in the Massachusetts area, Deadlock 2.
Eastside Morales.
Yeah. I'd never
Enemy
seen
of
this
people.
one. No, actually, this was at In Your Ear in Boston. This was a legit record store, $2.
Yeah. Good job.
So if you're looking for, cheap LaserDisc, all his LaserDiscs were $2, $2-3. So In Your Ear Boston.
Was Nuggets open? Were you able to hit there?
Nuggets was the one that wasn't open.
Yeah,
like
that's a
their
bummer.
Facebook was like posting that they had stuff or posting that they're going to be open in June, and they still weren't open at the end of July. So
they had a pretty big stash of LDs. But
another In Your Ear find, Jeff Goldblum, Twisted Obsession,
God.
VHS Plus.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of it, but you could tell it was like an X rental. Who cares?
Yeah.
And it's definitely pan and scan for Peter. So yeah, I mean,
I still need Mr. Frost. Speaking of Goldblum, so if anybody's got Mr. Frost, hit me up.
I got
Peter's
a couple
probably
more.
buying it right now.
Isn't that like $500?
I mean,
That's
now,
Jack
who
Frost.
knows?
Oh, that's Jack Frost.
Yeah, I don't want Jack
Okay.
Frost. I want Mr. Frost.
This was a honey hole find. The Crew.
That
Set
looks like a
kit
bootleg.
sale for
That's not
Terra.
real.
It's totally real. But there's a nice gun on the back cover. So,
All right.
and then there was one record shop that Bill was kind of like, I don't know, I've never had good luck, and the guy wants a lot, and I'm like, well, I'll try it, whatever. And Matt was kind of the same way, like, he's had stuff, but then he sells out, and he checks eBay for prices, and so I'm like, yeah, we'll try it, and I did really well. We'll start with Paper House. I've been looking for this. Nice horror film, and it's sealed, so that could be bad with image, but
Yeah.
I've been looking for it, and he's like, he looks it up on eBay and then takes like $15 off the last two that had been sold. So like, I'm like,
All right.
okay. And then this was the big find I had, Red Heat.
Linda Blair, Red Heat.
Yeah.
There.
So I'd been looking for this forever, and like he looked at eBay, he's like, I'm not charging you that. So he charged me $35.
All right.
So like, and this does not sell for $35. So I was so thrilled because I've been looking for it, and it's just one of those terrible women in prison flicks. But I was like, I gotta grab it because I'll never see another copy. And I ended up talking to the guy for a while, and then my wife and brother-in-law were there. They ran outside, got pizza at this local joint, and came back by the time it was done because it was 85, 90 degrees. He doesn't have air conditioning. Why would you have air conditioning?
Awesome.
But I mean, and he had stuff floor to ceiling, like you had to step over piles to get to things. Just one of those great like hoarder record stores where he's got great stuff, but you're gonna have to put a little effort in. He talked to us for like 45 minutes. Nicest guy. I loved it. I got to look up the name. I can't remember it, but it's outside of Boston. It's southwest. So
Okay.
it's out of the city proper. But and then there's a pizza shop 2 spots down that was delicious. So if you're ever in the area, he's got billions of LaserDiscs and
Sweet.
sealed stuff, you name it. And he was really reasonable. So, you're not going to find them for $2, but you're not going to find them for 200 either. So, but yeah, it was really good. Boston really pulled through. So it made the road trip worthwhile because I found like nothing anywhere else. So Maxeene.
Well, I ended up picking up like 200-ish discs.
That's all.
And I had a lovely influx of Japan mail.
Oh,
So
Nice.
I have a nice stack. I tried to limit it down a little bit, but I have some cool like swag items.
What do you got?
So here's the first one.
Ooh, a freaking rental stamp.
A rental case.
I know someone would
Badass.
love that one.
Yeah, man. It's like the exact same logo that they have on the rental discs too.
Yeah, it can hold maybe like 4 to 6.
Yeah, for like your week's worth of LDs you're renting.
For the
Yeah.
discerning collector of
Yeah.
only Japanese rental discs.
They're not
That is
Turkish?
pretty cool.
I
Are
was
they-
stoked
are
on
they
that.
Turkish rentals or Japanese? I was confused.
this one.
Dude, what's that? Is that? Oh, Pioneer.
But it's a biggie.
Oh wow.
And it's pretty cool. It's kind of like folds down. Like
Is that made out of cedar?
it's some serious wood.
You had this stuff shipped from Japan?
Yeah.
Nice.
The
Man.
laser swag queen.
That is sick.
I gotta
And
tell you that
It's
wasn't
got
it
on both sides, which I like that the Pioneer logo's on both sides.
a while ago, Maxine, you had me help you out with some Japanese stuff, and she showed me
Yeah.
this swag. I'm like, how the heck did you even find this? And like, I would look, and I can't, still to this day, I can't. I don't know how she finds it. I know where it's at, but I have no idea how she
These
actually
are-
finds it.
I'll see if I can get them a good. But these came from there. It was a 2-pack of keychains that I made into groups.
Badass.
I got those in with these cases at the same time, and then I got these. These are cool. Swiss,
That Swiss Army knife?
Oh my god.
So you can slice open your LaserDisc.
Yes, and this one's real handy because it's got a screwdriver.
So
as
you can
one of
open the
it.
top of your player and
Yeah.
do some repairs.
That's real handy. I like that one. And it was
Tilt
a 2-pack.
adjuster.
So
Yeah.
it came with Panasonic.
Techniques.
And now this obviously Panasonic people must be more into wine.
That's
it's like
hilarious.
a corkscrew on there instead. But yeah, I was just really stoked. I really just wanted this one. I
That
was
is
so
cool.
stoked on it.
Does it have a toothpick or no?
It does have a toothpick. The other one does not, but this one has a toothpick. I was like, oh, it has a toothpick. What?
You can pick your teeth while you're working on your player.
Love that.
Crazy.
Okay, I'll get to my disc.
Swag counts, man. You gotta show the
Yes.
swag.
Oh, and this shirt also. This shirt is new.
Can't
The
improve
speaker
the
You
What was
can't improve
system.
the system until
You're not allowed to, actually.
Yeah, until you improve the speakers.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Probably get some Andrew Jones Pioneer speakers.
Yes.
Your system will be rocking.
Okay. So this is from the 200 that I got. This had some quality in it.
Nice.
Oh, Olivier Gruner. Badass.
I don't know much about it. Looks incredible.
I've seen Nemesis, so it's got to be at least
Yeah.
as good as Nemesis.
This was what I was looking for.
Dude,
Nice.
Oh,
yeah, that's good, Corey.
It's not in the best shape, but I was just happy to have found it.
That was
Yeah, that's-
impossible to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Full
I've
immersion.
never had that before. So
Full immersion. Hashtag.
Hashtag full immersion.
9.5 ninjas.
Ninjas.
What is
Man.
that?
It's like if you like 9.5
It's
weeks
digital
and 3
stereo.
ninjas.
Yes. It's so love and adventure become a matter of sexy
I'm going to eBay right now just out of
confusion.
spite, FYI.
My God,
He's
Peter.
just cornering the market.
Good luck
Sexy
finding that one.
confusion. Okay.
So it is like 9.5 weeks mixed with ninjas.
It's a hilarious blend of kinky comedy and nonstop chaos.
The best kind.
The best kind. It's a proper quality film right there.
Oh my god.
Now this
Man.
I was really stoked. This is like a triple pack.
Like I saw something.
I saw it. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
3 of them.
All
3 out of
were in
4.
Didn't
3 out of
Bill
4.
just get some recently too?
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, if someone needs one, I have an extra because I have one.
Have you play tested your one?
Mm-mm.
Play test those.
Okay.
The number one is I have one that plays great, and I have another one that like has like glue all over the surface I can't get off. So like it's that image like sweet spot with 3M and
3M glue seepage.
yeah.
Man, that stuff is really goopy.
But if it doesn't have the glue, you're probably golden.
I always love when you try and get it out of the polyline sleeve and it's just like, nope, fuck
Like-
you.
It's like
Like
I'll get
very
another
good at it.
polyline sleeve.
Yeah.
But these are in actually really good shape, so I'm really stoked for 2 and 3 specifically.
Yeah, they look pretty minty.
Yeah,
2 is like really hard to find.
I know. I've seen 4 come up a couple of times, but hardly ever 2 and hardly ever 3. So.
And for the record, we're the elitist assholes here. So
I
after
actually
all
bought
this Broterion and Silent Night Part 4 and all this, just keep that in mind.
I got part 4 off Peter because and it was beat to hell, and I didn't care because I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll never find another one that plays, you know.
Yeah.
And that one was literally 5 minutes from my house.
Wow.
Well, that's
Yeah,
where
you
I
never
find
know.
That's where I found End
True.
of Days was like 10 minutes from your house.
True.
Some of those like
Bastard.
like that Warrant LD I sent to Peter, that was like 2 minutes from my house. Like crazy.
Yeah,
Better
these
to
were
be lucky
actually,
than good.
these were pretty close to my house. This is one. I feel like people are always saying this one, and I've never
Oh,
seen
Dark
it,
Backward.
don't know much
Yeah,
about it, but I've never, for some reason, never gotten this in a lot before.
I hear typing.
Peter, that one's still on eBay. I have it.
I hear a lot about that too.
I've never heard of this.
Heavy petting.
Heavy petting.
Is that James Dean and Marilyn Monroe and Elvis in there?
Elvis. I know.
Who's the fourth one?
I'm not sure.
I just
Is
see
that a
some random
furry
dude.
reference?
I'm not
Just-
sure. It doesn't look that familiar.
Looks like David Byrne or something. I don't know.
I'm struggling on that one. But
What's it? I don't even know what that is.
It says, if you watch Heavy Petting tonight, will you respect yourself in the morning?
Oh,
Like, is it like a porn
Oh!
with music?
Oh, it's a documentary. The synopsis on IMDb is celebrity confessions about their first sexual experiences.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and that is David Byrne. So,
Oh.
Dude, I totally called it.
Oh,
High
cool.
five.
That's so cool. Well, I'm stoked on it.
that would be an interesting one.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Now here's we're getting into Japan now. And
Okay.
I'm debating whether no, I'll start with the other one because this one's too good. I'll save it for later.
Japanistan.
Got mail.
Damn. That's a sick jacket. It's really
It's a gatefold. And it's 2 discs. And I'm like,
really.
why is there an extra disc? The US copy doesn't have 2 discs.
Does it
It's-
bonus features?
It's like 119 minutes, so they put it over 3 and put a bunch of bonus features.
Oh, how
Okay.
cool. Now I'm really excited. Oh, I love bonus features. This is
Dude.
literally like, I have another one of these ones. I have been watching this since it came out. I saw this in theaters, and I have loved this movie for forever.
Ryan, log into LDDB and make a fake rumor that it's a 20-minute longer cut.
Well,
Do like the end of violence.
Well, we need to hold off releasing this podcast for like a week for that to update on LDDB.
Okay,
And
for it
then,
to look real.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
This is
what we got?
so my big RoboCop lot.
Is that
came in.
widescreen?
This one is widescreen.
Nice.
Wow.
Outside of
But this
Criterion, it's never widescreen.
This one is not widescreen.
So is that the first RoboCop on that one? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
This is RoboCop 2. There is a widescreen of this in Japan, apparently.
Really? I've just
I
seen
did
the
not get that.
American
Yeah,
late
that
release.
one's hard to get.
Yeah, it
I
is.
didn't know there was a Japan widescreen of 2.
I believe there is.
Yeah, there
When I
definitely is.
looked-
I've seen it.
Yeah, when I looked, and it's available. It just this was literally one big lot that I got from Japan all together like this, and that's the one that was there. There's also, this I'm very excited for, the making.
Dude, Is that the
of
TV show?
This
Oh,
is the
making of.
making the
Snap.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super cool, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
very excited for that. And this is the TV series.
Ah,
So this came with all the volumes except volume 2, so I have volume 2 on the way now. But I managed to find it.
damn.
Volume 5,
I didn't even know they had that many.
6, and then 7 is the last volume. And
That's
then-
probably like every episode, right?
I think so. It should be the whole show. This was I think here said this was the pilot, but I'm not positive.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the only one that's by itself, but it's called New Battle. But this is the volume 1, the series.
Nice.
But this
I'd
was
buy that for
I mean,
$1.
Yeah. This was like really complete, so I was happy to get them. Like when I found out that it existed, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to get the whole series, and it was like convenient that these were like almost all of the ones that I needed. So the only one I had to go find by itself was volume 2, which thankfully was available by itself.
Good
So
find.
this is my last one, and this is my I can't believe I own this right now.
What do we got? The stuff.
nice.
Damn.
I'm floored.
Nice.
This was the only reason why I found this is because it was misspelled.
I love misspellings. They're the best.
That's it. I mean, this would have been way more if it was spelled correctly, probably. So
Nice.
and yeah, this is one I've been wanting this for a very, very long time. It does not have the OB, but
Yeah, but still.
it exists, and I have it, and I'm totally.
And it looks kind of better without it.
Bill and Peter make mod chips, so
They do.
talk to them.
It looks a lot better without that shiny sleeve on there. It's really
The ultimate misspelling pro tip: look for XO instead of X0.
yeah, right.
You
Nice.
just gave away my search, Peter.
And spend thousands of dollars, right, Peter?
Absolutely.
Thousands
Can't
of
watch
dollars.
it without it.
Thousands of dollars.
So
I got
real
one
quick,
more.
Oh,
Real
wait, you
quick.
got a bonus one? What's going on?
Yeah,
All right.
so I've had a 2-year search for a remote. Most of the remotes are about this big. I've been looking for an S2 remote, and it popped up while I was on vacation on eBay.
Ooh,
This
very
thing
nice.
is massive.
I love
and
it.
That's like a W.
I love a
Warren's
top
got
dog.
one similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just so ridiculous, but I found it finally. 2 years of eBay alerts, it popped up, I ordered it. Guy double wrapped it in a nice padded envelope, and it was there in 3 days across the country.
Damn.
So kudos to eBay, and kudos to just paying attention to your searches forever.
Took me forever to find an S1 remote too. Like something you just have to wait.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen the players keep coming up, and most of them are even missing their remotes, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, what did they do? But if they had it like programmed into like a big home theater system, they
Yeah.
probably had something else controlling it. So I was amazed, and I finally found it. But like, this is like the standard like later Pioneer size. This
Yeah.
is the S2. It's like 1.5 times the size, and
Beast.
I'm really excited about it. My wife thought it was like just the worst. She's like, really? That's what you're excited about? I'm like, I've been looking for 2 years, but
Dude,
yeah,
remote.
so-
When you find a matching a remote, that's like a big deal.
yeah, because when you have an S2 or any of the like ridiculous like elite players, and you don't have the right remote, you're like, I'm almost elite. I'm not quite there.
The best thing is like when I did finally find the S1 remote, it wasn't that expensive compared to a CU CLD 098, the one for the 704. Like those things are like pretty much $50 period
hard.
or
Yep.
higher.
Yeah.
And I think it was like under $20 for my S1 remote. So what do you
Yes.
got going on, Peter? What's the secret?
Oh, I
Something
was
you
just
want to
gonna,
add?
I was gonna say that we were talking about brothers, and brothers of famous people maybe being desirable discs. So I was gonna try to one up Ryan. So I did a search for Hulk Hogan brother. You can imagine what that brought up.
Oh no.
Well, it's his famous
Brother.
interview, brother. So you get a bunch of Hulk Hogan videos. I just still don't know if he has any brothers.
He does not.
Does not.
Like
Could you
Liam
track down their
Hogan.
movies already if he did?
There's that famous WCW like trading card where I think it's WCW where it has another guy named Hogan. Like I can't remember what his name is, and he
Horace
was like
Hogan.
supposed to look like Hulk, but he wasn't. But yeah, no.
We need like Hogan knockoffs, like those fake Bruce Lees after Bruce Lee died. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
need some of those guys. Well, awesome pickups, everybody. We're gonna move on to recent spins, and let me
Yeah.
chug some water here. And my first,
Please tell me there's a notorious rotter in your recent spins.
why you want me to watch something rotten?
I thought that's what you spent your whole couple weeks watching.
Rotters? No, it's been,
Legends.
Legend. I did watch something that I can't talk about still, that I talked about not talking about last time. I watched that about 6 times, so that was cool. And then I did watch, in honor of the late great Wilfred Brimley, BROTERION Hard Target.
Nice.
And of course, this isn't the DTS one, and the best one to get, obviously, is the Japanese one. Though the Japanese DTS is this cut. If you get the Japanese non-DTS, it's the extended version with more shooties and deathies and splodies and all that stuff.
Stop it
But
with
I
your
mean-
fancy picture and sound.
Yeah, and this is like, John Woo was going to be on my BROTERION list. This isn't obviously one of his best movies, but it's got the mullet to end all mullets. It's like a kind of greasy mullet, which is awesome.
Jerry curl mullet.
Yeah, it's a Jerry curl mullet. It's got Yancey Butler, whose facial expressions go from surprised to shocked, and or or just deer in the headlights. And it's got a cop that keeps cakes on fire in her drawer. It's got Lance Henriksen probably chewing up the scenery more than in any other movie. He calls a dude a buffalo for no reason. He shoots his own dudes. Arnold Vosloo's in it. It's got Wilford Brimley riding a horse with a bow and arrow in slow motion with an exploding shed behind him.
Nice.
And yeah,
Incredible.
it's great stuff. You should get a copy of Hard Target. But yeah, definitely search out the Japanese one if you want to see a longer one. There's still like a director's cut that's on bootleg DVD or something like that. But and
Maximum damage.
what's that? Maximum
Maximum damage.
Oh yeah, and everyone's got great names because he's Chance Boudreaux and Uncle Duvet is his uncle. And shout out to Peter who hooked me up with this because I was watching some Blu-rays of these. Sorry everybody, but I wanted to kind of offset that and go vintage and rock the Planet of the Apes on LaserDisc. And don't worry, the Obi strip is inside. Yeah, it's in there. And the only one I haven't watched from this box yet is Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is the reason everybody used to want to get this because this is the long version on there. So I did rock, the first four, and again, there's THX late releases, which are obviously like untouchable. But I've shown these in the videos before, but just in case you haven't seen them,
nice.
It is just a nice box. I just love the style of it, and
Cool.
the artwork is badass. I'll just run through them. Planet is obviously untouchable, and Beneath is that one kind of keeps growing on me. Like at first you're like, it's like Planet of the Apes, but Charlton Heston doesn't show up that much, but it's
come on. Once the neutral zone shows up and it goes off the rails, that's awesome.
Dude, man.
Spoilers, come on, guys. I haven't seen it. Come on.
Oh man, the finale of this is badass, man. It's kind of gets weird and science fiction-y almost, and obviously Planet of the Apes is science fiction anyways, but I mean it's got this kind of like Star Trek feel to it, and
yeah, it's one of this thing that goes in a completely different direction, but it's a good direction.
Yeah, it's got a way cool ending, and then and then these two are just wicked cool, where they go back in time, escape from Planet of the Apes.
Time travel rules.
Yeah, man, and just the writing on these next ones are just badass, and it starts to kind of like establish the birth of how the world came about, the Planet of the Apes, and then Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is badass. Though the Blu-ray has the version with the ass-kicking ending. This one sadly has the less ass-kicking ending. There's still some ass-kicking. There's dudes, getting their butts handed to them by apes, cruising the streets in Century City, which is the architecture in this thing is amazing, and just it's got such a cool vibe, and it just makes you want to go out and cause some trouble. So so I did that, and
that horrible guy sent that to you, right?
Yeah, I know, what a jerk, man. He's just like, I'm gonna laugh at you, I'm gonna kick sand in your face, and here's a box set of Planet of the Apes. And then I watched this about 100 times.
That's
you
what
asked
I'm talking
for it.
about.
Erotic copy of the Legends of the Fall. And I got to tell you, it looks way better with triple sync component than it does single sync. But no, it was really fun, like kind of hooking up the Muse player and checking out the audio. Sounds pretty good. And sadly, I don't have the audio done properly. I've got I've got the inputs on my receiver, which just passes them through with no bass management, except for what it'll do is it'll like sum all the channels and then it won't take the bass away from the speakers, but it will copy it and send it to the subwoofer.
Is Legends a 2-1 or a 3-1? I don't
remember. It's a double disc 3-sider.
No. I mean the audio.
It's got the 4 A mode 4-channel stereo 3-1. So.
Okay.
So
if it's the B mode, you could just go right into your AVR and do Pro Logic, and it'll spread it out.
Yeah.
Just when you need something.
Yeah. So I got to get some bass management going for that. But I mean, at least it is able to pull some bass out of it and send it to my subwoofer. It's just that every other speaker in my system is getting a full range signal.
And it's not totally rotted, isn't there? There's a side or two that you can kind of watch.
Yeah, and it gets better. And sometimes you actually forget about it. It is kind of like somewhat steady throughout, but it kind of lessens. And there's some scenes where you're like, oh yeah, this is looking good. And then all of a sudden you see a little bit of rot. But I wish I didn't like the look of Muse as much as I do, because it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Money. It's going to cost me thousands of dollars, baby. And but no, I just really like the just the vibe of it. I like how much it looks like LaserDisc still, but like solving some of the chroma issues. And
the good thing
noise.
is there's like 5 or 6 really cool discs. It's not like there's a bunch that you have to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to be complete or anything like that.
Yeah, you
it'll
get
just be fun.
Jurassic Park, Top Gun, Universal Soldier. You get like 3 of them, and you're in good shape.
And there's a couple, like, I'm a big fan of Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I kind of want that. Like, I don't care if it's the best transfer or not. I just kind of want it. Yeah, so that's it. But yeah, so that's that was my my last spin. So I think that was 5 or close to it. Gonna pass it over to Ryan.
Well, I didn't have that many spins because I was driving a lot and watching DVDs and streaming. I know, gasp, but
Own to own.
You know, I did hit some Dollar Trees and found some gold. I saw Sushi Girl on DVD with Mark Hamill, and that is a trip. And it was $1. But
All right.
anyways, I showed this one off. The Lion King, I was totally joking. I know it's not the Lion King, but the Lion King ripped this off.
And you really fired up LDF with that one.
I think a few people didn't get that I was joking. I have it like this so I could easily turn it around and show it off.
I think it looks heavy if that's full.
It is heavy. There are 13 discs in this. And the disc per, I think the disc cost rate from Japan to the proxy ended up being $2 a disc. So people just weren't looking for it, I guess.
Anime stuff, it can be such a ridiculous deal. Like, one of my Macross boxes cost me $25 to buy, like 12 discs, and then to ship. Like, it wasn't really that much more. And you think about, if I saw that at a convention back in like the 90s, it would have been like $500 easily. Yeah.
And like each one of the discs has like art and everything. Like, this is a beautiful set. The
Simba.
Transfers, yeah, it's got wait.
Kimba.
The transfers, you can tell it's 1965. I think it was 65. Yeah. But it's great, and the audio is really good too. So you know, I probably just ruined the market for it by showing it off, but I couldn't not. I got it. I'm like, I have to spin this right away. And my wife was like, what's going on? I'm like, it's anime. You don't need to know. You just need to watch.
Were you like holding that in one hand and your cool remote in the other hand? And she's just like, why did I?
Yeah, my son was even watching it, and he had no clue what was going on either. But you know, he's 2, so most of the time that's the case.
Yeah, he doesn't care if it's not in English.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got to watch just two other LaserDiscs, and one of them was this Black Belts. So I liked Don the Dragon Wilson, and you know, there were some fight scenes that just weren't that good. Like, he's legit, but like they were just so badly like staged. Like, there's one where like he pulls 2 guys together, but they like step toward him, and you're like, God, where's the choreography on this?
You can't kick as high as Cynthia Rothrock either.
I know what. I mean, who can?
True.
But the ending got better, and the fight sequences toward the end got better. But at the beginning, I don't know. Maybe that was one of his first ones. I don't know, but it just. I'll have to look that up, but it wasn't that great, like, for what I expected from him. And I've seen some of his other stuff and really love it, so I don't know, it was okay. And then I watched Heat Seeker, which, God, that has such a great cover, and it just kind of sucks. Like, they're like, oh, and we've got the battle between these guys, and it's like you're watching a Sports Center highlight of the battle, and it's just so quick and staged, and you don't really like get into the fights because it's like a 10 seconds, 20-second synopsis of the fight, and you're like, come on, I want to see like 5 minutes per fighter. I don't care if there's no plot. No, I didn't get that. But yeah, so that was it. I only got to see those 3 things, but I'll change that this next time around for sure.
Nice.
Peter?
All right. I watched a bunch of LaserDiscs the last couple of weeks, but I picked out 5 interesting ones. So this one is Suburbia.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
This references Dazed and Confused on the cover from the director, so I was expecting a Dazed and Confused-like experience, and it absolutely is not.
Nope.
This is incredibly depressing.
Yeah, he's all over the map.
It's not fun at all, especially the ending, but that one. I had to go a little DTS style and watch Jurassic Park The Lost World, which absolutely shook my basement.
I actually almost like that DTS like audio better than Jurassic Park proper with the hot like subwoofer and everything.
Is this the one they say has the hot subwoofer channel?
No, the first one is. That's the one that's like I think is perfect. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really nice disc. widescreen,
Ooh,
pretty
you got
in
it.
pink.
Nice.
If only you had some kind of wonderful to go right next to
Yeah,
that.
exactly. That's gonna be on my wish list here. I got to get it before you post it on Sunday.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's good looking disc. And remastered Batman. I watched that. For some reason, I was expecting this was going to be widescreen, but it's not. It's Academy ratio. Was this a TV movie or was this a theatrical?
You know, it's like the TV show, but I thought they actually dropped that in the theaters.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Definitely not widescreen. It's got all of the villains all at once. It's got Penguin,
Everybody,
Riddler, Catwoman, Joker. It's awesome. I mean, Adam West was so good. It would have been a lot better if he could have been a little more jacked up and maybe had a suit that wasn't like skin tight spandex with spaghetti arms. But other than that, he's awesome. I really like the newer. I love Ben Affleck as Batman or Christian Bale, but Adam West was good. And my last one here is Super Rock in Japan.
Yes.
Dude, is that the one with Anvil? And
I just watched this today. I watched Anvil, Metal on Metal. I watched that song probably 8 times. It's just amazing. It's early Bon Jovi. I mean, really, really young Bon Jovi, early Whitesnake. Scorpions, I don't know how early it is. He still half bald, but Anvil's really, really good. So those are my spins.
You gotta scan me the Obi there.
The Obi?
I have that disc, but I don't have the Obi.
I don't know. I always this guy, whoever had this in Japan, opened it up really nice, and I usually tear these things off.
Yeah, man.
But I can't decide. Like, it's so nice and in there. I don't know if I want to tear it off and even be able to access the Obi. And it's one of those wraparound Obis, so it's not like a foldable one. It completely goes around
you might not
there.
get it back off.
Yeah, I don't know how I would.
Yeah, I would take it off.
I don't know how I would scan it for you.
Nice. Your Batman movie did come out in theaters, by the way.
Really?
And it was only 1.85 to 1, so it might be open mat.
Ooh, I could zoom in on it and be perfect.
Perfect, just like the theaters, 100% guaranteed.
Awesome. So that's my spins.
Yeah, Max.
Almost stuck out. Okay, so I watched quite a few Broterion titles. Start with this one.
Red
Young
Surf.
George Clooney. And I believe that's Michelle Pfeiffer's sister, Dee Dee Pfeiffer.
Dee Dee, yeah.
And Gene Simmons is in this, by the way.
Who's the other? There's like another dude on the cover.
So he's, what is his name?
Dude, bro.
Dude, bro.
Doug Savant?
From, he was at Melrose Place, right?
Was he in Melrose?
Yeah, that's the guy with the bandana.
Yeah.
He was on Melrose.
Oh my god.
Hey Peter, there's a copy of Red Surf on eBay.
I was about to say, how much money have you spent? How much money have you spent today, Ryan?
I'm actually leaving that one for you because it's $200. So
yikes!
I think he was like the gay guy that married the Russian girl or something, so she could stay in the country. So he had like a fake marriage, and he was a doctor. I never watched Melrose Place. That's for losers.
What are you even talking about, Sam?
Doug Savant from Melrose Place, man.
It's The Godfather, Ryan.
What are you talking about, Peter?
This was actually like all over the map, in my opinion, of the film. It was kind of just like he's like into drugs, he's with her, she's suddenly pregnant, and then like they're also like doing like cocaine heists, and like Gene Simmons is somehow the ringleader, but it's also about surfing.
What's with her hat? Is she like in?
She's very 90s.
Okay.
It's very 90s, early 90s, and so like she's got a lot of looks. I wish there was more of her looks on the back, but there isn't. But they do a lot of this nighttime like runs, the jet skis, and a bunch of like partying.
So if like Point Break is here, where's Red Surf? Like.
Ooh, yeah. So. It's not on point with Point Break. It's like,
all right.
It's because Point Break to me is more like action, and like while this is trying to be action, this is kind of almost more like a drama. And like I was like kind of I was watching it thinking like, would this even go on my like Broterion list? I'm like, this is kind of more like too kind of deep feeling, like the whole plot and there was way too much plot. Like
it's always weird when you get something that you're like, oh, this is going to be an exploitation movie, and it's just like this drama.
No, and it was a wild scene at the end. It's like Gene Simmons, and then I don't want to completely spoil it, but it was him and Gene Simmons, and there was just like this insane gun battle where but it's like none of them are really like trained with guns.
He didn't hit Gene in the hair, did he?
What?
Oh no, my helmet.
No,
He didn't hit Gene in the hair, did he?
Gene was like the ringleader, and he's like pushes the guy's gonna take this other bad guy out, and then he's just the blonde guy from Melrose Place. He like walks away. He's like, can't do it, like walks out of the room, and then Gene busts in. He's like, watch out, and it's like, what? Like, and then he falls in a pit, which is, I'm not gonna spoil the pit. You should see the pit.
Gene probably had creative control in his contract. He didn't have to worry about the plot. He just got to come in and shoot people.
But he was like building surfboards. I don't understand his role completely. His name's Doc. It was a very weird choice of name for him too. I was like, Doc?
Mr. Simmons, this doesn't make sense. I don't care. I'm the star.
Yeah.
Peter, you're just gonna have to give us a second review because I'm not doing that.
Too weird. Okay, and then this was another potential.
Yes.
Savage Beach. Lots of TNA on this for sure.
Girls with guns.
Almost too much, but also not. I was like on the fence about it. It was just like really random where they were throwing all these things in, and you're just like, is that necessary?
Yeah.
It's not necessary in any of his films.
I mean,
I want teenage boys to rent it. Absolutely.
I don't know. Some of it was, but I mean, okay, this was kind of a slow starter for me, and I was like, nah. And then it just ramped up, and I was like, this was actually really good. And it was
Savage Beach. It better be savage at some point.
Savage Beach. The whole plot was just insane. And I liked actually once the kind of slow bits at the beginning, which kind of made it so that the end part could ramp up because you do all of this backstory. It like all kind of like was wrapped up in a nice little bow. And then the very end of it was just like hilarious. It's just randomly they're all like cheersing, and then they just walk out of frame with a partner, and then it's just it's just crazy though. But I like
have a vinegar release, does it, Ryan? There's a Savage something.
No, that's
this so much reminds me of my mom, which is so funny that I just was watching this like thinking, Mom, what are you doing?
You might have to have a talk with your mom. Be like, I found out.
Mom, like
I knew you were in Savage Beach.
It's just really so funny to me, but yeah. Like it was good. It was good. It almost made it. It was very close. So did this one. Oh, I'm gonna cover this up. You shouldn't be seeing my little stick in it. But
Bolo.
This is another Cynthia Rothrock.
Ooh.
And Bolo! I know.
Yes.
I love Bolo freaking cheesy smiling in the background the whole time.
He's the best smile.
He's a badass too.
Like I'm just a painter, I'm not a fighter. Like
I
make wall murals of tigers. Like
I'm sure, Bolo.
But yes, this was great. But I preferred Cynthia in martial law over Tiger Claws because I liked her with Chad McQueen better than I liked her with the guy who randomly becomes her love interest. I felt like it was not as obvious that they were a love interest. They literally kissed once at the end of the film, and that was like, oh, okay, I guess
that
you're
box.
interested in him. All right,
romance.
So then I watched BMX Bandits.
Nice.
Oh wow! What I'm trying to BMX Auto Vin.
I'm hoping it says Bandits.
BMX Adventure.
Oh, adventure.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely an adventure. I loved this. I had not seen this before watching this.
Nicole Kidman in her finest role.
I loved her.
Yeah.
I loved that she was like supposed to be this badass like BMX bike rider, and like she wins the BMX champion thing. They're like showing the guys and they're getting these trophies, and then they give her this way bigger trophy. She's like, I'm just better. I don't know.
Deal with it.
But I loved it. The walkie-talkies, the whole plot of it was great, and I loved their banter. The three of them, her and the two friends. But the two friends banter was great. And then she just randomly like becomes friends with them because they get her fired by accident.
Yeah.
It was just the places where they put in the BMX and then the synth noise every time they jumped over something.
Oh yeah.
You know, like over everything.
That adds that adventure.
I loved it. It was so good. And
That's
this
good
is
stuff,
this is available for streaming on Tubi right now.
Right.
So if anyone wants to see it, because it is rather hard to come by on LaserDisc.
Yeah, I don't see that often. It's not that often as Rad. Everybody's got Rad.
I know.
If it were a U.S. release, it would be in the same regard as Rad for LaserDisc collecting for sure.
Yeah.
But since it's not, like, people either don't know about it or don't want to try and find it because it's near impossible.
Yeah.
And don't tell anybody. I like it more than Rad.
But is it 4K on Vinegar Syndrome?
No, it's not. Our proud sponsor, Vinegar Syndrome.
That's an awesome disc.
Yes.
Oh, dude, you developed it. Excellent.
I watched it. There was only one of my homework ones I didn't get to because I was watching so many Broterians, so that'll be for a next time.
Excellent.
I didn't get to watch the Where the Wild Things Are. But
And I think I might have found that dude in Indiana.
Yeah.
Google.
Laser sleuthing.
He was very, like, I liked his accent. I liked the way that he just kind of, like, said everything in the very just plain terms. And, like, he did kind of move quickly, but because it's a LaserDisc, you can pause it. You can look at a chart. You can, like, digest it. You can look up facts and make sure that it's not outdated information. Because this is from 1981. Now, what I was talking about, yeah, some of the things have changed. But the core of what he's saying, and just, like, in terms of like what's a reasonable investment or things that are like just really just standardized things that kind of really haven't changed. And so this was fascinating to me. I've definitely learned a lot. All of these lovely rainbow titles have been very informative.
Yeah.
And I still have sides 3 and 4 to watch, which are investment philosophy and estate planning. But I did watch the develop your financial strategy and investment portions of it.
All right, good. We'll be quizzing you at the end. Maybe next episode.
So that's Chicago, Indiana, right?
Yeah, Chicago, Indiana.
In Indiana, we are good with money.
There you go. What's his name again? What's the gentleman? Dr. James. He's not Dr. James N. Wilson.
CPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes by Jim in the video.
Yeah.
He says, "Hi, I'm Jim Wilson."
Chapter 5 is invest in late release LaserDiscs.
Yes. He knew that was coming.
All of the investments on there, I took a bunch of photos of things and I like filmed little segments of it. It was very like he was talking about like insurance and just like things where, you know, you just like, oh, well, I really haven't thought about those types of things. And it's
I
just
can
like,
vouch for that.
You know, food for thought and like just interesting topics and just why not? I'm like learning all these interesting things on LaserDisc, and that really has been one of the things that LaserDisc was used for. It was used in schools. It was used for training methods and manuals and for salesmen to pitch things and barcodes for teachers and all these things. So, I mean...
Wrong. There's only one way to watch it.
It is a fascinating format with lots of facets of information and topics. And this is just one of the many things that I very much enjoy. It's just
I like how Maxine's the only one learning anything out of this whole LaserDisc thing.
I haven't learned a damn thing.
We're gonna get dumber by the end of this podcast, and she's gonna be smarter.
In like 5 years, Maxine's gonna be retired.
Yep. Like doing the podcast from her like penthouse.
How did you do it,
office
Maxeene?
suite.
It was this LaserDisc.
This was my financial.
Well, we're holding our copies of The Cell in the poorhouse.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, I got The Cell.
But by the way, Peter, Savage Beach is on a Mill Creek Blu-ray for like $8 on Amazon. You're thinking of Savage Harbor or Savage Dawn.
Yeah, I went looking at my vinegars. I found Savage Dawn.
Savage Harbor's the one that's out of print already.
We got to add like key podcast like this that we talked about, like add their image on the side and put like how much they cost at the beginning of the cast, and then watch it like go up as
no, you should see how many are available.
Yeah, like there's 10 now, there's 5.
I'm always so shocked by things where you're like, oh, it's taken me years to find it, and then all of a sudden 10 copies, and it's like, well, where were they? Where were they?
I like the ones the reverse where like we talk about it and then it's $300 on eBay.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
So was that the last spin?
Oh yes, that was my last spin.
All right, cool. Do you guys want any mailbag stuff or?
We got a little time. I'm good.
This would be the week to get to it, wouldn't it?
I know, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, man, I think we had an ass ton here from the past episodes.
Oh yeah, they're piling up. We haven't opened our mail, guys.
I wanted to do the OLED one when Mahir was on because I know he actually has an OLED TV if I remember correctly, and I don't. I don't know if anybody else does.
No.
You have one, Peter?
I do not.
Yeah, so can't really answer that one. Yeah, someday we're going to answer that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. When will Mikey guest star on the show? We hope someday.
Whenever he says he wants to. We've
extended the everyone's
invitation.
asked him.
Here you go, Peter. Composite versus S-Video. Best players and practices. Like, I think you already answered that at the top of the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, which player has a comb filter that's like halfway usable?
CLD R7G or DVL H9 are your two players. So here, if you want to do LaserDisc on the cheap, get one of those players from Japan, plug it in with S-Video into a DVDO, a Faruja, whatever video processor you could find to upscale a thing to 1080p, and you're going to be in great shape.
And R7G you can use on 120 volt without the step down transformer.
You can use all of them on 120 volt. I think that's a bunch of BS myself, but yeah.
Yep.
R7G confirmed, the rest not confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm still running my stuff through one, but I don't know.
My R7G, when I had an R7G, I ran it straight, no conversion.
I think that actually,
I'm running it straight.
That actually might be one of those like red laser myths. And I think, and Bill corrected me on this, I think someone opened one up and saw the power board and said 125 volt and said, oh, this is fine because it says 125 volt. Well, apparently they all say 125 volt. And I asked Bill about that. And he goes, no, that's not exactly right because there's stuff downstream of the board that you're going to mess up if you feed it 120 volts. So I don't know. I've always used the R7G and the H9 on 125, and I never had a problem with it. But those are players I didn't really mind losing. I mean, my nice Sonys over there that I really value are absolutely running at 100 volt step down converters.
LDS9 on the LDDB, everyone was saying the same thing, that had the 120 volt thing. And I remember when I got Bill's, I took the hood off and it clearly did not have the, because the R7G's got like pretty much the same American power supply board on there, but the S9 had a 100 volt or whatever on in there. So I didn't really mess around with that. I just stepped it down and it's still live so far. So I'm doing something right. But that's the only problem is like once you start getting into those step down transformers, like do you keep buying tons of them if you want to hook up a few different players? Or
I've got a I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I've got a stack of, if you see right there's a stack of 2 of them because I've got 1, 2, 3 Japanese players over there and they only have 2 outlets in there. So there's 2 stacked on top of each other. I hide them behind a LaserDisc. Gets hot as heck in there.
And the thing I liked about that Sony MSC 3000 and the 4000 that you have is that it actually passes the power through to the player, so you can hook up that Japanese decoder and then it'll pass the power up to the player.
Yeah, you're going to be alone on that MSC here pretty soon. I've got an upgrade coming.
All right, I'm cool. What are you going to do with yours? Give it to Ryan?
I've got one actually.
It's going to the gentleman who may or may not be recapping the upgrade right now.
Oh, nice. All right, cool.
Yeah, I have a Muse decoder and I've never got a disc. Peter sold me on the decoder and I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I've never tracked a disc down because one of these days I will. I'm very particular. There's only a couple I'd really want, and
you had to jump on that. I mean, I was into that thing really cheap and I gave it to you for what I was into it for. I mean, you just to have it there.
Yep, I can see it. It's right over to the right.
Oh, nice.
Which
one you got?
Oh, it was under it was a Bill recommendation, so
okay.
Didn't ask questions, just
Was it Panasonic or a Sony?
I think it's a Victor.
Oh, the Victor one. Doesn't Peter hate that one?
Yes, I do.
The Tech One Special?
as long as we're talking Muses, as people start to get into this a little bit more, you got to be careful because they make 2 things. One is a Muse decoder, which decodes the Muse signal and outputs the 1035i or 1080i. But there are also Muse down converters, which were meant for people that didn't have high definition televisions back then and would allow you to watch the HD Muse discs on a standard TV, so they down convert the signal to 480i. So you do not want to get a down converter. You want to get a decoder. And like right now, if you went and searched Muse under the video section in the normal place, there's 4 or 5 they're all down converters. You can buy them for $20. That's not what you want to get.
Yeah, I bought a bill approved Muse item.
There you go.
That is the correct
You got the right thing then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like how this started as a question about composite versus S video, and we totally turned it into a Muse answer?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Right now they're like arguing about my Lion King Jungle Emperor.
Oh, they're still going?
It picked up like literally 10 minutes ago. I looked at it because I kept getting notifications. I'm like, what are they talking about on? I don't know.
That one guy was saying there's even a comic book that was before. I don't know if he was thinking about the manga that the show was based on, or I don't know, man. We'll have to go back in and see what's going on. Spencer asked some questions that we never really got to get into either, but one of them was everyone's worst experience with disc warps. I haven't had any. Yeah, like.
Oh my God, my
super bent disc. Have you had one like crap out on you, or?
I've had 2 good warp stories.
One
was and I showed a picture. This is probably a year or 2 ago. It was a horror movie, The Dunwich Horror, and
I love that movie.
Played it, and then the 2 sides split apart and like cupped away from each other, and like the glue like failed. I pinched it back together and I threw it in a cheap player and it worked, but it was rotted obviously at that point, but like it worked again. But that was the weirdest warp because it happened like inside the player and I ejected it out, and thankfully it didn't hose the player, just it sat in the player overnight, and I went to go check it and to put something else in, and I was like, holy cow, what happened? But and then the other one, I got a copy of No Contest, Andrew Dice Clay, Shannon Tweed. And
quality.
I didn't look at the disc before I put it in, and it started out okay, and then all of a sudden it started skipping. I'm like, oh, this has got to be warped or something. The thing was like rippled on the one side, and I tried to flatten it just because I felt like it, and I also ordered a sealed copy and spun that later on because it did not flatten. But yeah, those were my 2 worst warp.
Yeah, like playback wise, I don't think I've had one where I just usually get a lot of crosstalk and stuff like that. But I had a few. I did have an Iron Maiden one that took forever to flatten out, and it wouldn't play past like I don't know, like halfway through the concert, Live After Death. So I was always pissed off because I'm like and like I'd kind of flatten it for a couple weeks. I'd play it back and it'd be like a little bit better, and it'd be like, yeah, more Bruce Dickinson. And I finally got it now. It plays all the way through fine now, but.
If only someone offered a flattening service that you could have sent that to.
I'm international friendly.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy a vinyl flat because I do have some records that I really want to get some edge kind of bubbles out of, and I'm going to go ahead and get one.
That's probably a good investment because I got this stupid T-shirt press which works great with laser discs. I'm scared to put a vinyl in there because it'll probably destroy the grooves.
Yeah, the vinyl flat. If you get that little pouch that you can get separately, it seems to have a nice kind of constant low temperature, and it's good for that stuff.
Yeah, so. But the high pressure T-shirt press that I use for laser discs probably isn't good for vinyl.
You should use my laser disc method, Peter.
I have where you put it on the black player out in the sun.
Yeah,
that works really well.
Throw it out there for like an hour and bring it in.
It does. It works really well.
Yeah.
It worked really well, but I only tried it on common discs, and I do not recommend it.
No, I've done that a couple times. It absolutely works.
I did the stack. I got a bunch of my buddy came back from the West Coast, and he gave me a bunch of his discs, and some of them had like a ton of crap like leaning on them, and most of them were in good shape, but there was a few I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bend these back into shape, and there was some I put in a closet like next to a wall where a bunch of snow melted and then seeped into the house, and then they were all soggy, and I'm just like, screw these, and I just threw them in the trash. It wasn't worth it. And probably the worst warp I got was one of those Pioneer tuning forks that I love those videos because they're training videos from early 90s, kind of giving you like all info about the tech, and I think there's 3 of them. One guy I think he's in the LDF, he actually ripped them and put them on YouTube, and they're really cool videos. And I bought one from a dude from an old service shop, and he sent it in a cardboard box that was like this big, and he just kind of slid it like it was like a folded box like you'd go buy at Staples or Home Depot, with a laser disc slid in the middle and then just tape around the edges. And of course it got pulled at the edges, and that thing is, I'm still trying to bend it back into shape so I can watch the whole thing, but it hasn't happened yet. But I'm still trying to figure out Eraser, because every copy of Eraser I have is not rotted, but has crap tons of crosstalk at the ending when there's the big action scene on the Learjet that James Caan's crew flies on, and they're all trying to kick Arnold's ass. And that is like, I got crosstalk on every single version of that. So I don't know if every single version is not rotted but warped, or if there's something baked into the master. So, I mean, except the Japanese one. Japanese one's badass, but the American version, I don't know. But yeah, warp. It sucks. But you can flatten it, like stack some crap on it,
Yeah.
hope for the best.
Plate glass, like go to an auto shop or anybody that does windows, and you can get like a 13 by 13 square, couple of them cut, and then throw a crate of laser discs or records on it for a couple months and come back.
Yeah, man, that Iron Maiden disc of mine, like it really finally flattened out. And sometimes if it's not that bad, you can just keep them like kind of packed in tight and just store them normally, and they'll kind of bend back in shape. One of my Star Wars ones, I'd given to my parents because I was an idiot. I'm like, here, have my Star Wars, and they got out of Laserdisc and were like, here, have your stupid discs back. And it was inside a tub, a bin, like everybody puts their discs. And of course, the ones in the middle are fine, and the ones where the bin starts tapering in were all, you know. But I ended up kind of just storing it upright, and it was fine within a couple of weeks. So just
Was
snapped
it
back into shape.
Technodisc or not Technodisc?
No, it wasn't. It was Mitsubishi. So
$100 right there.
Technodisc, man. Oh man, yeah. I've been looking at Star Wars on eBay, and it's getting stupid. So
Oh my god.
I know. I'm glad I got those when I did, because
And then ruined it for the rest.
I honestly, I have not even looked. I guess after
you probably have some.
I have so many copies of Star Wars. It's like the cube. I have a cube devoted to just Star Wars box sets, and then another cube of just all the different. I have so many Star Wars copies. It's
Do a Zoom chat, and you just keep holding them up, and we'll be like Technodisc, not Technodisc. Yeah, I mean, you could just check it yourself, but
I'm still waiting for your Star Wars review video, Sam.
I know. I am working on that. Yeah, I gotta get my room back together again, and get my air conditioning back so I can start making videos again. So this week,
Sam, this is all about us, not you.
I know. I know. Sorry about that. I gotta do my penance. I gave everyone the finger in LDF. I didn't do your Star Wars video. And then another question Spencer asked was, what's the worst aliasing you've ever seen on a disc? And I think mine is probably Halloween Criterion Collection. That's got a lot of like bad like chrome trim on cars and everything with that stair step kind of pattern on there. Like something like baked into the master, like even if you have it like hooked up to an awesome processor, like it's still kind of there. But that's my John Carpenter stuff is pretty bad for that if it's like widescreen, because he has like really long shots. So like if he's got a car in the frame, it's kind of far away, so it needs resolution and it's 2.35 to 1, so like that television isn't, that CRT isn't giving it a lot of help. And so you get that kind of jagged stair step edge on there. But that's a little technical one, but
I mean, I've probably seen a bunch of them on some of the fighting films I've seen, but I'm so used to it, I'm not like looking for it.
I know.
I'm just like, it's still better than VHS.
I don't hyper focus on stuff like that, but I want to bring
one
thing
thing. You're
up,
the picture queen.
Yeah, the queen. What you said about 235 to 1, I had someone talking to me and saying if it's 235 to 1, it doesn't have as many lines of resolution. Now, tell me, am I crazy? Because so you have a 4:3 screen, right? You have X number of lines of resolution in that 4:3 screen. Yeah. So when it's 235, it's not like you have less lines of resolution per capita. It's just a smaller picture.
It's just using less of them. More of those are being used for the letterbox bars.
So the 4:3 picture has the same resolution as the 235 to 1 picture. One picture is just smaller than the other. So I guess maybe there's a point there if you're zooming in on it and doing it horribly, where the 4:3 is going to be better because you're not zooming in on it, but you're not losing lines of resolution because a picture is a certain aspect ratio. It's still
you're not zooming in more on that than you would. You're still zooming in just to fill the side of the 16:9.
If you were watching it in the RAW on a CRT, it's the same resolution. It's just a smaller picture. You're using less of the frame of the TV. So I
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I only watch
guess
those on my 21:9 widescreen.
Nice.
And I guess the argument is that when you would see a 2.35 film in the theaters, it's wider and is bigger and has more image than your average 1.85 to 1. So it's the converse on video. You're getting less of that used. So sometimes all those like long shots and facial features are going to be like kind of harder to see because it's only fighting for a certain amount of resolution.
I know the concept. Like if you have a projector that can do it, and you have an anamorphic lens, you could have the projector shape the thing in such a way, and then the anamorphic lens squeeze it down, so you actually do maximize the resolution and the brightness on something like a projector. But on LaserDisc, it doesn't apply.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's not like the disc itself has less lines of resolution. It's
it's just a smaller picture.
It's not using as many of them. But yeah, I mean, it's still like, I don't know. That was always just kind of like James Cameron's complaint, is that he could like you couldn't see the details in actors' faces. But I don't know, man. I zoom in something like that, even if I can't see all the details as well as I could if it was like Blu-ray or something like that. I just like having that wide image, and there's like a dude standing off to the left, and there's something off to the other side.
There's no substitution for size when you're trying to get a theatrical experience. There's no substitute.
Yeah, screw the haters. So I think that's about it for questions. Is there anything else interesting? Yeah, we did the current chains. We dropped that one down. Everybody knows Peter's chain. It's on his LaserDisc Home Theater channel. You can check it out. Actually, it's probably you probably changed it a little bit since your last setup video.
I've got
nowadays
multiple players there, so you could see. You've got actually that's a new arrival at Theta Data 2. That thing's like cherry mint.
Yeah, you're back into Theta now, huh?
Sony, yeah, I got my Sony C2EX. I've got my Sony C1. I've got Theta Data 3 that I just got fixed up, and I got this other one here that we're not supposed to talk about. But I've got those all run to a switch that's hidden behind that disc. It's an automatic switch, so whichever player is powered on, automatically that's the composite that gets fed to the eval board, which is hidden behind there. Then from there it goes to a Denon processor, and the big advantage of that is the noise reduction and the ability to output 1080p 24 frames per second for film.
And your composite switch doesn't mess with the signal; it just kind of passes it through pure.
Yeah, it's an Extron. It's not a mechanical switch; it's an electronic switch. But I don't notice any picture degradation. Yeah. Extron's like a pro brand, so I think anything you get from them is going to be pretty high quality.
How's that isolation platform working out for you?
Oh, I love it. Doesn't that thing look cool?
Yeah, it does. That's badass.
But and then from the Denon processor, 1080p 24, which it could go right from that to a display, but I just send it to my Lumagen Pro processor because that's what feeds the my projector. And the Lumagen Pro processor, like I said, that's little to do with LaserDisc. That's all about, if anyone knows anything about HDR tone mapping, when you have a projector, even a very nice projector, they're not as bright as a regular TV, so they're not going to be able to show the brights as much as the TV. So you do something called HDR tone mapping, which kind of squeezes the brightness levels into something that will fit, and that's the big selling point of Lumagen Pro. It does it. The projector I have has HDR tone mapping on there, but it's not near as good as the Lumagen. So that's all about 4K. It just happens to be what I plug into with my LaserDisc system.
That's the thing, yeah, because you're using it for not just LaserDisc again.
Yeah, if I didn't own 4K, I would go straight from the Denon processor to the projector and be done. But the fact that I own 4K and I like to watch things in 4K makes that a part of the overall setup. And I would never have like 3 TVs, even though I have in the past. I would never have that sitting here. Like I have this to watch this form of video and this to watch this form of video. What if you can't watch it all on your projector screen? What the heck is the point of having a projector screen?
Used to rock a CRT projection set. Do you still have that thing somewhere? Or did you get rid of it?
I gave that away. It was in my garage, but I gave it away. It was just taking up space. I would love to put like a high-end projector. I just don't have the space. My basement's not big at all. I would love to put one of those somewhere, but space for it.
You know, Peter, if you kick your family out of your house, you have a whole house.
It's true.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Actually, I mean, my kids are leaving soon, so I might be able to take over more space here.
Gotta pray that we knock down the corona somewhere so they don't come back right away.
Yeah. No, well, they're back early. Everyone's. You guys are probably on like an early semester where they're back before whatever, and then they stay till past Christmas.
Yeah, they come back at Thanksgiving, and then they do like online finals or something.
Yeah, and don't go back till after the New Year.
Yep.
Have fun
So
with that.
weird. They're trying to just jam everything in and hope everyone doesn't get sick before they have to send them home.
And
it's a weird shell game.
It's probably not the kids that are going to cause a problem. It's going to be when some teachers start getting sick that it's going to be a problem.
You know, we could talk about this all day.
COVID cast.
Since I work in higher education, college students, and I love college students. Don't get me wrong. They don't necessarily make the best choices outside of the classroom.
No.
So I think they're the higher risk factor. Then bring it to the faculty who aren't as young as the college students. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Good time. So what do we got for final thoughts other than COVID destruction and death?
No, we're gonna make it because you know, otherwise I won't be able to offload the discs I don't keep from collections.
Nice.
Here's my final thought for everyone watching this that asks, how do you improve picture quality? You have 3 choices. Well, you have 4 choices. You plug it directly into your TV. If you're not happy with that, if you want to improve on it, you have to spend thousands of dollars on a Lumagen 2144. You have to spend thousands of dollars on a Crystal IO2, or you have to spend $200 on this eval board right here. There's no reason to buy anything else. There's no reason to test anything else. Just get a freaking eval board and be done with it.
I don't know. Vinny seems happy with his Ferruccio DVP 1510.
Yeah, I kind of pushed him over the edge with the upgrades. He's upgraded out. But for those of you starting from scratch who haven't spent the last 3 years following my nonsense, just buy the eval board.
What about the Sony Magic Box?
No, the Sony
That's an old classic.
That's no good.
What about the Extron little comb filter?
The YCS.
Yeah, Max. If you get an eval board, it's 3 to 4 times better than that, and that's not a bad solution.
Those look good though, to be honest. Like,
that's
a huge improvement for.
That's definitely not junk, but
pretty cheap too. I feel like that's a good starter pack one for someone to kind of literally dip a toe into it.
Yeah,
like,
they're 10 or 15
outputs
bucks.
S video for all the people that seem to keep wanting S video. For most of the players, it doesn't seem like S video does too much straight out of the player if it has it, but going into that little magic box that has no buttons, no dials, you just literally plug it into a power supply and then it just makes the picture look better. It's kind of amazing.
That's the thing. Everyone kind of wants that one hot ticket item. They don't want to hear what Peter has to say. But if you're not getting those 4 things that Peter wants you to get or doing, then it's going to be a little messy, or might have to get a couple different things and daisy chain them together. It's going to take, it's not just going to be like go to the shopping mall and pick up the 3 things and you're done. Like, you're probably going to have to mess around, hook up things differently. It might work with your player better than another player, the TV better. Because we had this whole DVD recorder fiasco and the LDF, and a lot of people are coming at those like, I need this, and I get a lot of questions about them too, but I really only know a little bit about the early Panasonic ones, which is the ones where they put a decent comb filter chip in there. But they also have some of them you have to go in and turn off noise reduction, so like it's still not that plug and play. Like, you still might have to learn something about it and read the manual. I still like the fact that I can record LDs on them. That's pretty badass. But I mean, there's still there's so many DVD recorders out there, and there's absolutely no guarantee outside of a few known ones. There's a list of chipsets, I think, on AVS forums maybe, or LDDB somewhere, with like a list of which players up until like maybe 2006 or so had which chipset. But
at the end of
the
the end of the day, everyone needs to have realistic expectations too. I think that's one of the big misnomers, that when people see me or anyone talk about how great this specific LaserDisc or how great this looks, we're comparing it to other LaserDiscs. We're not saying it looks great compared to 4K or great compared to Blu-ray. We're talking in the specific genre of LaserDisc. Yeah. So when I say, my God, Rocky looks like amazing, it's just a great looking LaserDisc, people jump right to, it can't compare to the Blu-ray. Why are you saying that? Well, I didn't say that. I said that it looks great for LaserDisc. And there's also a law of diminishing returns. As you buy more and more stuff, it's smaller and smaller improvements. The biggest thing anyone can do is just calibrate their TV. Start with that. Yeah. Because just Just
do
based
it.
on the screenshots people post, there's so much stuff that's not the right aspect ratio. The brightness is all jacked up. The contrast is jacked up.
Yep.
You can't expect your contrast to be up, and you got to go to the Video Essentials, and you got to look at the stair step panel and the top white. You got to make sure there's a separation between those
Not
two
blown
whites.
out.
If you could see, if both of those whites on the top are the same color, it's completely blown out and it's wrong.
That's a good point. The actual white balance tutorial on the Video Essentials is pretty much useless on most of our gear. It's meant for like really old bad CRT TVs. Like even the old CRTs I had didn't have those weird blooming bending problems. So like completely ignore that and find that pattern that Peter's talking about. It's got like gradated shades all with white at the top.
Yeah, you step onto, you use the step button to pause onto that so you could see it playing, and you look at the top two white bars, which you want there to be a clear step. And on my setup, the difference between my 4K player and my LaserDisc player is about 20 or 30 steps of contrast. It could be way higher for the Blu-ray player, and if you use that setting for LaserDisc, it's way washed out. It's completely not even close to right. You have to bring that way down, and again, you cannot guess at it. You need a test pattern to see where the brightness and the contrast need to be set, and then the colors also. And the brightness and the contrast are more important really than the colors, because the majority of the picture, as they say in Video Essentials, is the brightness and the grayscale. It's not the colors. But that's going to go way farther. Before anyone goes out spending $200 on an eval board or $1,000 or whatever, even $10 on what Maxeene said, calibrate your set. That's going to get you way more. That's the most bang for your buck that you could get anywhere, is to calibrate your display.
So many people just have that washed out. All the black bars are gray. And
I mean, the difference in a home theater, like if you have a projector, between a good projector and a bad projector, it's all about the black level. And you can't have good black level if you don't have the thing calibrated properly.
And if you got the contrast boosted, like you might not even notice. You're like, oh, this looks pretty punchy or something. But I was watching The Pit and Pendulum, and the main actress has this kind of flowy white blouse or something. I was just screwing around with settings, and you can tell like there's a difference between, or if someone's got like a window behind them with like lacy window shades, there's a difference between it's just a big white blob, and there's actual details and shading in there and stuff like that. So that's
you could wash them out on the top end and the bottom end if you don't have them set right. If you have the brightness set too high, you're losing detail. If you have the contrast set too high, you're literally losing picture detail that should be there.
I'll try and put I'll try and find the actual frame number of that step white balance thing and put it on the bottom or something here. So if somebody has Video Essentials, they can already go check that out. So
it ends up being in people's collections sometimes when you get lots. So I mean, I just
all the
feel
time.
like it's relatively overlooked unless you know what it is. Like it just looks like, oh well, I'm not going to deal with that because I don't know anything about televisions. But it's like it
that
really
or
is
a video
like,
standard.
I know a video standard is a
everything.
little bit more difficult, like just slightly. But the book is cool. I mean, it's still like it's worth it if that's all you had. Like it's still worth doing that. Like,
but there's no cool movie to watch like Video Essentials. Or I mean, there is, but it's different.
The other quick thing we could talk about is the different calibration setting you need for some Japanese discs versus some American disc, because black in Japan is blacker than black in the US, if that makes any sense. Their dark goes down further. So you either need a video processor that you could hit a button and compensate for that, or you need to do a separate calibration, and you either need to eyeball it, which is not good, or buy a calibration disc from Japan that's meant for IRE 0 and do a separate calibration for that. You're going to need to raise your brightness a little bit, and the colors are a little bit different, and the only way to do it accurately is with a thing. So the Phantom Menace is the most popular IRE.
Everybody asks that. Why is my Phantom Menace so dark?
It's so dark because you need a different calibration for it. It's a Japanese disc, and they're not all like that. If you watch some LaserDisc, you could get to the point where you see something that's really dark, and hey, that's IRE 0. I need to go to the other calibration for that. And there's no list that exists. You just have to be able to see it. Phantom Menace is the most startling example, and I remember years ago where we got into it, and I just like it that way. It's fine. I don't need to do anything. And I posted like a picture, like, look, this is what yours looks like. This is what it should look like. And all you got to do is recalibrate.
Or change a setting or something if you have. I mean, I just kind of cheat and do my DVDO's got that PC to, whatever. It's usually set on auto instead of video. I set it to PC.
Yeah, video and PC.
Yeah, so I just change it that way and just
because
make it simple.
Computers have the same
Yeah, that expanded.
Yeah, they have
black
the same
bubble.
as Japanese discs or a
And
lot
DVDs have that too.
Yeah.
They
Is
got
that not a
DVD
field on LaserDisc database? The IRE0 discs. Like, I feel like that should be something.
Dude,
That's
somebody
a
should
hugely
get on Julian.
neglected thing.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
oh, sorry. They have to realize, but I mean, how many people have, besides maybe the Phantom Menace, discs that it actually impacts on?
Well,
Not that many.
Most of the later releases in Japan are like that.
Yeah, because I think in the mid to late 80s, they started implementing that. They call it NTSCJ. It's like a special Japanese variant. And then I've got some like concert discs that are just dark as shit anyways. And it's like, sometimes I'll up it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's too washed out now. It actually is supposed to be dark as shit.
Or just a dark, not great transfer.
True, that might be too. Like you might be like, oh, this is offset. I need to offset it, and then it's.
So I think Humongous is a Japanese-only horror movie. Is that way? It's just really dark, and you can. I played with it. I turned up the brightness a little, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
It's just dark. So.
Or if you have Halloween 2, just turn it all the way to black and don't even watch it.
So the guy that everyone thinks pressures people into spending money is sitting here telling you don't spend any money, just calibrate your display.
Yeah, for real.
What a jerk.
He told me to spend my not money.
Thousands of dollars.
We're going to get some more Trump money maybe, so
Video Essentials for everybody. There we go.
Speak for yourselves.
Let's invest in copies of Video Essentials and just mail them out to people.
I know. He's so useful.
Corner the market and then mark them up.
That's it? Oh.
I used to have several. I still have several video standards.
Better than nothing.
I know. I have one Video Essentials left.
Yeah,
I think
goes
Video
fast.
Essentials is better because they explain it to people that don't understand. You can do it with the Video Standard if you know what you're looking for, but the Video Essentials tells you what to do.
Yeah, it's way friendlier. And it's just, and now I kind of know where all the patterns are, so I just jump right to them. And it's
chapter 15. It's literally 3 patterns: the brightness, the contrast, and the color, and you're done.
Yeah. And there's like a YC separation kind of pattern if you want to get a little wacky, but and then you can watch that badass movie.
Yeah, you only have to spend 15 or 20 minutes every time you watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So what's everybody spinning tonight? I'm probably going to do Battle for the Planet of the Apes because that's the last ape movie I haven't seen yet. So I mean, I've seen it, but what about you, Ryan?
I'm going to watch Red Heat. I picked it up from vacation. I waited. I'm going to spin it. So, yep. And it's Image Entertainment, so I have to rep for them.
Pressed it. Is it rotted?
There's a couple reports, but I it's not like every one of them says it's rotted.
All right.
I can't really tell.
Your name's not Moikey, so it might be okay.
Yeah, I mean it's not Dinosaur Island, so we're okay.
Yeah. That's the search for the unrotted Amazing Panda Adventure and the unrotted Dinosaur Island.
I will pay double of the regular price for Amazing Panda Adventure, so $6.
Yeah, $6.
Peter?
I will probably watch Anvil one more time as I'm cleaning up down here before I go to bed.
Nice.
Excellent choice. Haha.
Planning a little cooking course.
Damn. Seriously? I have Justin Wilson?
Yep.
This, I like cooking. I'm more of a baker myself. So
I wonder if you could find a disc telling you how to wallpaper your apartment.
Oh my gosh,
that'd be amazing.
Cool. Oh, how cool! I would love that.
You would totally wallpaper, wouldn't you?
I've wallpapered.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually had in one of my childhood bedroom decor ideas. My whole room was decorated like Hawaii. I had this thatch roof thing that I built out of like palm frond pieces that were, like decorative pieces, and then it was wood attached, or it was like an overhang over a bed, like a tiki kind of roof.
Damn.
And I had done an entire wallpaper, wall mural where it was all these panels where you connected them all together and made this big, full wall-sized mural of Hawaii.
Damn.
And so I've done wallpaper, and I painted clouds on the ceiling.
I was going to say that everyone had wallpaper as a kid, but you're a little younger than us, so the fact that you had wallpaper as a kid is saying something.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And I did it myself.
Man.
So they were, it was a lot of work. But I mean, I built a lot of things. I made these shelves here. These are custom made for the room.
Need some wood paneling. Put that up.
Oh, wood paneling.
Imagine the damage she's going to do with this pocket knife now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, so now you're going to be able to kick someone's ass with your karate skills.
I have karate knowledge now, guys.
Yeah, and then stab them with that. Make them food because you feel bad for kicking their ass, and then help them develop their financial strategy.
Yes. You clearly on the wrong financial track.
Yeah. That's why I kicked your ass.
Then you're going to cook them dinner.
Exactly. They'll feel much better.
I actually really am excited for this. The recipes look insanely bizarre. Like fish mousse is the first one, so we'll see.
All right.
But buttered rice and lemon in fancy shapes. I'm looking forward to that one.
Fancy shaped lemon.
Yeah.
All right. Respect. I expect a tasty meal sent in the mail. I don't know.
Well, one day I'll maybe at Christmas time. I typically make a lot of goodies at Christmas time, so maybe I can actually mail some of those priority.
Sam, before you end, you should probably apologize for the lack of content tonight.
What, like lack of?
We haven't gone 3.5 hours.
The hilarious thing is we
owe
actually
everyone
went
a refund.
like pretty long just because I'm so relaxed and we don't have to worry about running out of time. We're like, yeah, let's talk about some shit.
Yeah.
So it's still probably.
You swore more than I did, Sam. So
I did.
We're good.
It's those Ewoks. Those stuffed Ewoks make me swear.
Oh, I love them.
And there's like a little baby Chewbacca right there, like a little tiny Chewbacca, I think. And there's a space monkey right there too. Yeah.
And my cat hasn't woke up.
I know your laser cat's just
your
chilling.
cat went around in a circle while you were talking the last time. I've watched your cat, not you.
I disturbed her with my voice.
What does your cat think about Muse laser discs?
I don't think my cat cares about much of anything.
My cat loves the laser room. He's got his own little. It's behind my jacket there, but he has his own little bed right there.
Cool.
That's his special bed.
We had 3 cats, and this one was the most unhealthy, overweight, just blob of a cat, and she's the last one left.
Oh my god.
She outlived them all.
Sweet.
How cats work.
So hopefully we'll have a good week, drama-free. We had so much drama this week, it even spilled over into other LaserDisc groups. So hopefully it all chills out and simmers down. And
keep it positive.
Right.
Remus, calm down, Remus. How about one post a week?
They're going down.
How bad your setup is.
They're going down the hill on the Lion King. Simba Kemba. I'm
I
sorry.
can't wait to go check it out. Yeah.
It was a joke. Whatever.
Man, it was a rough week, and so I'm sorry I flipped everybody off, but I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No, it's fine.
They were harassing my boy. Yeah, or boys plural. They were harassing everybody. I don't know what that.
Everybody was just like really angry.
You ruffians on that Wolfpack podcast.
I know. Yeah. So you get what you get. It's the Wolfpack. It's in the name.
We'll have to like invent a howl or something for this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Wolfpack, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, we definitely need to get like a soundboard and just cool graphics. Like, just make like it's like a DJ like skipping wolf howl.
Are you sure you don't just want like a '90s radio soundboard with like stupid effects?
Oh my
god! And we just need like a zooming Wolfpack graphic, and we're gonna zazz it up. We got the kick-ass opening theme courtesy of. Do you have an actual name for your band, Max?
You can put Maxeene and Beardo. It was a co-done track. We split the instruments up pretty equally, so.
Nice. Can you put like a 7-inch like custom press? Maybe we can sell it on.
Ooh, that'd be
Patreon.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've got some songs I've been meaning to release. Maybe we can do a
B-side of Peter Jams. I like it.
Oh man.
Good times. All right, I think that wraps us up, right, Ryan?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, when we go off the air here, is there a way you guys can record me a new intro video? That thing you had for me last week sucks, and I know it's my fault.
I'm leaving this in, though.
I mean, you could just, you could do it specially here, and Ryan can capture it.
Yeah. We'll all right. I think we'll go off the air.
All right, let's
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.